are fully informed, and you can make your vote right now in the chat. If you think Never Lucky's going to be able to take it, take that hashtag NLY, hit enter. If you think that the move is going to be able to take it, don't just spam the move emote in chat, hashtag TM, and put a vote in for the move. Both of these teams trying to get to the land. Never Lucky, very close to being able to do it. A solid performance in this tournament, not even anything too crazy. Maybe enough for them to lock it up. The move may need to go all the way. They need to get it started right here and right now.
The BlizzCon runner-ups, the move, they need a top finish here if they want to earn enough points to qualify. Never Lucky currently tied for that 4th position to advance to the spring finals in that LAN event for a chance to qualify directly to the World Finals, and of course a massive prize pool as well. It would be devastating for the move to not make it. This is the first time that we've seen them performing finally in the upper bracket with the best shot that they're going to get to try and qualify. Currently Peekaboo under fire, although I would say the positioning is prime for him if he is able to stand on 3 members of the team. Never Lucky is a little bit reluctant to push forward. I think it's a smart decision to wait for these Infernals of WizK. Peekaboo's trying to initiate an attack. WizK marching himself over, but with that Chains of Ice so difficult to actually get in line of sight. But the main reason we see the Destruction Warlock with the Assassination Rogue is that Peekaboo can run a Fan of Knives build, and if the enemy team wants to avoid the Destruction Warlock and utilize the pillar in line of sight and clump up together, then the Assassination Rogue will maximize his damage, in this case Peekaboo. And if they try to leave the pillar to slow down the damage of the Assassination Rogue, then you've got a Destruction Warlock free casting on you, which is why we've seen this composition, which was first pioneered by the team of Storm, and then we saw the team of the Super Frogs basically hijack it, and now we also see the move picking it up here in game number 1. I would say compositionally, however, Never Lucky come out ahead. What I really want to see is if Colo has improved his mana efficiency on that Mistweaver Monk. That was my biggest criticism of his Mistweaver last week. Their team overall had good setups, nice burst windows, but Colo would always be running out of mana and just unable to push through for that final kill. Let's see if he's improved here for this week. We're on cup number 5. There's only one more after this to qualify.
Yep, Never Lucky. I think they've come in with a solid game plan. Zach's actually running the Tiger Eye Brew PvP talent, and basically what that is, it is a buff that you gain by spending chi. So Zach, although he's sitting behind the pillar right now, every time he uses a spinning crane kick, anytime he uses anything that costs chi, he's slowly building up the Tiger Eye Brew buff, and eventually he's going to be able to use that to bypass armor and make an all-in push onto WizK. So they can sit back here, build up 10, 20 stacks of Tiger Eye Brew. That's going to give them a lot of momentum, a lot of damage to sort of get through a lot of the defense the Destruction Warlock has available. So I think it's likely what Never Lucky's doing right now is he's trying to pick their moment in this game where potentially dampening ramps up a little bit higher and they can make an all-in push onto WizK to take him down. But the pressure on Peekaboo has actually been really good, and he needs to be a little careful making these offensive pushes.
Yeah, but before dampening, I think attacking the Assassination Rogue is the best target for Never Lucky, and they might be able to bait Absterge into a bit of a trap with his heal over time effects. They manage to get Peekaboo behind the pillar. They go for a double stun lock. Absterge repositions and able to stabilize. No overreaction on the side of the move. They're exchanging cooldowns 1 for 1. Now we see some counter pressure as WizK is able to free cast. Zach has to exchange Touch of Karma to try and protect himself, but even still under immense pressure. Multiple Maledicts flying in, soaking up the heals. Zach in trouble. He could just fall down to an Immolate. He's just gonna die to the dot damage. Colo gets caught in crowd control. Big mistakes by Never Lucky. The move capitalized.
And in this 5th cup, but after we get out of this one, we need to talk about WizK a little bit more and really start to talk about just how important he is for the move. Dalaran Sewers, gates open.
Yeah, and keep in mind going into this game, Never Lucky, they actually 3-0'd Storm, and we know Storm, their main composition is this Druid, Assassination Rogue, Destruction Warlock, so Never Lucky knows what they need to do in this matchup. They just need to execute. Now, what can they get done? In the last game, they played very passive, just trying to grip in Peekaboo, but I don't think it's a bad idea for them when they get the Tiger Eye Brew stacks to push in, try to get some pressure rolling on WizK. Even outside of dampening, you do have enough burst of potential to start forcing out some cooldowns and tax Absterge mana without too much of a threat to yourself.
Zach trying to ring a piece WizK away from his demonic gateway for the Abomination to burst him down, but the Abomination is very slow to advance to its target, so WizK ended up just taking very little damage, finally able to connect, and Never Lucky are playing a lot more aggressive. It's potentially that they were just afraid in game 1. They wanted to play it very safe, and it gave the move tons of opportunity to say, all right, we know exactly how to end the game now because you're making it so easy for us by not getting aggressive. Sometimes putting pressure on the other team is a good way to sort of screw up their game plan because they're under pressure. We do see a trade of the anti-magic zone onto the Dark Soul, but it was not the Inferno, so WizK baiting out a defensive cooldown. This could be an opening for WizK and Peekaboo to find a kill. Valido opting to trade anti-magic shield while already positioned at the pillar. I was saying that they're looking more aggressive, but now they're looking to be still kind of hesitant, and if there is any hesitation against the move, they will pounce on it.
Yeah, in that last exchange, Zach, he traded out his Touch of Karma. I think he trinketed. Valido used Anti-Magic Zone. Colo used Revival, 3-minute Mistweaver cooldown. They weren't in that much trouble, and I feel like Never Lucky, that was kind of a panic moment for them.
Here we go.
The move, they're going to be pushing in. Infernals are dropped down with a stun on Colo. Preemptive Life Cocoon, but so far the move just shredding through it. Zach could still be in a lot of trouble. He's trying to cross the map, but caught into a Mortal Coil. Colo gets interrupted. Beautiful Ring of Peace by Zach to keep Peekaboo off his back and allow him to cast out some Vivifies and Colo to finally get some heals connected. Zach with a nice crackling Jade Lightning knocking Peekaboo off. It's a nice little move by the Windwalker Monk of Zach. Nicely done. We'll have to see what they can get done now as Colo is going to be using his Way of the Crane to make an aggressive push onto WizK. Absurge gets gripped into the double stun, but a preemptive Iron Bark should shut this damage down.
I think one win condition for Never Lucky, the safest one, is to make sure that Absurge never drinks, never resets his mana. The Mistweaver will outdo the Druid if the Druid is unable to find any drink opportunities. They already have a significant lead in that regard. They have Touch of Karma to exchange, Icebound Fortitude to push forward. Absurge knows that he's losing on mana, sits down for a drink. Is anyone going to stop him? It looks like he's getting denied as the team, both Peekaboo and WizK, tag team together to deny them from denying the drink. Absurge now bounces back to full mana. Unfortunately, a bit of a mistake. They stack up here for a triple stun. This could be an opening for Never Lucky. They managed to pull the Unending Resolve from WizK. A pivotal defensive cooldown to a Warlock's survival. Definitely can't be affording to stack up like that again. However, the map does play into that strategy of Never Lucky. Strategically, they've set themselves up well to get a win on the board here. Zach being pressured. Colo trades that Life Cocoon. Trying to look for the openings here. Vendetta in 27 seconds. They might make a swap to Colo. We do see another Death Grip strategy. Peekaboo was able to dodge the leg sweep. Nice awareness on his part, realizing if they get triple stunned, it's going to be very dangerous for the entire team. So Peekaboo will be weaving in and out when he anticipates these Death Grips to try and avoid being stunned. Just top level play you'd expect to see from the move.
Yeah, definitely. Zach with the Touch of Death. This is an opening. No Iron Bark, no Unending Resolve for WizK. They might be able to make a push here. Colo caught into a Mortal Coil. WizK trying to deny this assault, but what can you get done? I really feel like Never Lucky, if they had just waited a little bit more patient with the Way of the Crane, they could have made a huge push onto WizK, but this could be it. Zach's still not committing the Touch of Death, though. That's really going to be the moment where you know Never Lucky is looking to close out the game, incapacitate onto Absurge. Nice Ring of Peace knocks him off, but still in a good position to heal up WizK right now. WizK getting low. What is Absurge going to do? He has to hold on another 8 seconds until that Iron Bark to top him off. But Peekaboo and WizK have been doing a good job keeping pressure up on Never Lucky during these pushes. And Colo's mana is not looking that great.
And we see Absurge just tossing in a couple Solar Wraths to try and add a little bit of extra damage to the team. It's putting a lot of pressure on Zach. Potential opening. Zach portals away. Glaire's Maledict's flying in. Double Shadow Fury. Peekaboo can't connect. Ring of Peace denying that for now. Colo's mana not looking too good. Absurge taking the opportunity while the enemy team is running away to sit down for a drink. This is a perfect timing. Now it's up to Never Lucky to decide to either stop the drink or to counter regress. They managed to accomplish both. Mana still slightly in favor of the move, and this is the mana efficiency I was talking about with Colo. I'm not sure if he's just feeling the pressure. He's using Way of the Crane outside of Mana Tea too frequently, but he's going to run out of Way of the Crane pushes, and as soon as that isn't a threat on the table, then we will see the move push in.
Yeah, Absurge actually sitting down for a drink as dampening just kicked in. Colo getting sapped up. Peekaboo finds the full kidney shot on Zach. He has Trinket and Karma, so Zach's not going to be in that much trouble. He just ports 1 millimeter. Unfortunately, Zach needs to be really careful with those portal positionings. Put it behind the pillar, because if you have that port in the open, and that's your get out of jail free card, you're not really getting out of jail, especially if it's just completely in WizK's line of sight. So definitely a little bit of a misplay there. Never Lucky still making a push on the WizK, but hasn't been able to find the damage. Once again, Absurge denies with the Iron Bark, as well as the Thorns on this leg sweep. WizK only has 10 seconds left on that Unending Resolve. Once he gets that back up, he's going to be feeling relatively healthy. And for Never Lucky, all 3 members are rotting down low. I think it's likely we see Colo use the Way of the Crane shortly to try to top off his team.
All right, Infernals have landed. WizK's trying to ramp up some huge burst. Colo gets spell locked. This could be devastating. Looks like he wants to Way of the Crane. Anti-Magic Zone will deny these Dark Soul Chaos Bolts, well timed by Valido. Great anti-Magic Zone, good triple stun setup. Colo needs to find an opportunity to Way of the Crane, but he's waiting for the crowd control diminishing returns. The longer he waits, the more he'll fall behind. WizK being pressured though, Unending Resolve no longer available. This could be a big push. There's no Iron Bark for 15 seconds. WizK knows that, tries to gateway off to safety, but they will all 3 members connect. They need to interrupt Absturge's healing. We saw Cervantes in the past on that Death Knight being the main point of contention to stop the Nourish spell from being casted. Currently, it doesn't seem like they've got the disruption. Zach's on the back foot, unable to escape, trying to Crackling Jade Lightning, Peekaboo off the side. Ring of Peace denies the reconnect. Valido Death Grips Peekaboo away, but Zach is still dangerously low. Blind gets traded out. Colo tries to Trinket. Life Cocoon will soak that up, but you can really see the hesitation in Never Lucky. I think the move are just moments away from sinking their teeth in game number 2.
Yeah, Peekaboo making a play onto Colo, and Colo with almost no mana left. It's going to be danger time for Never Lucky, especially with WizK completely stabilizing. Colo moves in, looking for some damage. All 3 members of Never Lucky trying to set something up. A beautiful grip double leg sweep on the Absurge and WizK, but once again, Absurge with the preemptive Iron Bark and Thorns. WizK is going to be able to redirect a lot of that damage with the Thorns from Absurge, and then sort of force Never Lucky to retreat.
All right, mana now totally tapped here for Colo. Maybe one more Way of the Crane. A minute and 30-second window to kill WizK with that opportunity. They need to disrupt crowd control, so this would be a Mortal Coiler of Fear. So stunning WizK will deny both of those. In the meantime, Zach gets caught. Peekaboo Shadow steps over, trying to close the game out. If WizK can get a Chaos Bolt, Zach line of sights. Absurge is literally BM Solar Wrathing Zach right next to him. Zach actually has to Spearhand Strike a Solar Wrath. You can just tell that Never Lucky are so far on the back foot. Colo getting stabbed again. Zach has to heal himself. Colo's been out of the fight for so long. Deeper into dampening. Valido now will become a target. Colo is desperately still trying to recover mana. It's critical if he can get it. Now he's got enough mana to use Way of the Crane multiple times. Absturge is significantly lower, even though the pressure is in favor of the move right now. Never Lucky can make a big push. They've still got a 50-second window, and they're going for it.
Yeah, here it is. Kidney shot, though, on Zach, trying to shut that down. Still no trinket available, but Zach with Touch of Karma, with Touch of Death. Definitely WizK going to be feeling a lot of pain here. Looks like Netherward will redirect a lot of that Touch of Karma damage onto Zach. Cole's going to have to dispel that, or it'll be a lot of damage. Looks like he's going to trade out the Life Cocoon onto Zach so they can continue this pressure. Touch of Death rolling on WizK. What is Absurge going to do? Almost no mana left. Never Lucky playing into their win condition. 23% dampening. WizK caught into a stun. Can the move really force Never Lucky to retreat at this point in the game? There's just not too much left for them to work with, Sid.
Yeah, this is where I was saying that WizK will be tested, is deeper into dampening on the Destruction Warlock. How can he counter-aggress when everything is being thrown at him? Will he be able to force Never Lucky back? It's looking not to be the case, as WizK will fall in game number 2. Never Lucky, they've got good setups. There's definitely hesitation.
Sudden, he is going to be on the mug. We've seen it quite a bit this season. On the other side, we're going to see WizK, who has become a Warlock. Now, WizK, somebody who we have seen multi-class even throughout last year. Every time he did do it, he stepped up to the plate. He did perform. He's trying to do it again here, but it is already the final hour. Cup number 5, only 6 to try to make it to the first land of the year. Who is going to make it, the move or Never Lucky?
I mean, the move, they're desperate to do it. Never Lucky are currently tied for that 4th place position, but with the Mew Mew Kitty Cats already out of the competition, Never Lucky could establish a significant lead in that 4th place spot. And then what does the move do? Even maybe a top finish in the 6th cup might not be enough. Everything is on the line for the move. They're already being pressured with 2 members dangerously low on health, seconds within the match starting. Absurge is really feeling the heat.
Yeah, a lot of pressure early on from Never Lucky. Peekaboo getting a little bit low. Feint should be able to deny a lot of this incoming damage. Now it's going to be up to WizK and Peekaboo to try to reverse the pressure. In the last 2 games, I really feel like it was on Zach. Zach on his Windwalker Monk, he's been doing a great job offensively, making the pushes, getting the double leg sweeps, and putting out significant damage. But I just really want to see Zach defensively, rotate a little bit better, have better transcendence positioning as well, because I feel like he's the main target in this matchup, and as long as he's playing well defensively, I think Never Lucky is going to easily walk away with the series.
So we often talk about the blind pick, and in this series it's of utmost importance. The compositions that Never Lucky are playing, they definitely prioritize small maps, whereas the Move would like big maps. Right now the Move have the advantage in terms of comp and map selection, so we've gone to Ashermane's Fall, they've got open field, but because the Move were able to win on game number 1, they will always be able to bring it to the big battlefield should this series swing all the way to a game 5. So Never Lucky have to win on this particular swing match or on a game 5, but there's way more pressure on a game 5. They would much rather win it here. I'm wondering why the Move didn't necessarily lock in Tolvaron over Ashermane's to try and make sure that they don't inevitably maybe fall down to the pressure. We see firing on both sides as Zach dips low. Colo exchanges life with Coon, but now they reverse it with both Peekaboo and WizK getting bursted. Tons of damage from both teams here. Absurge gets crowd control. Peekaboo gets swapped to. I really like this multi-pressure, this two-pronged attack from Never Lucky. It's a super effective strategy when facing down a Restoration Druid, and they're looking a lot stronger in game number 3.
Yeah, definitely really important, especially if they can slow down the drinks of Absurge. It will really tax his mana, and that's really when we see the Mistweaver Monk have that lead over the Restoration Druid. Colo and Zach positioning very close to Absurge, and I like that because Absurge is going to have to create distance if he wants to find enough time to actually get out of combat and look for drinks. Zach with a Crackwing Jade Lightning keeps him in combat for now. I really want to see Colo move across the map on top of Absurge. Just play on Absurge, stop the drinks like right now, which is really important. Zach with good backup, good awareness, was able to shut that down. I feel like as long as Never Lucky can keep up this pressure, inevitably they will have a mana lead. Absurge, 50% mana already. That's definitely a huge win condition for this Windwalker Death Knight.
Valido trying to line up his anti-magic zone with the Dark Soul, but WizK is splitting up his aggressive cooldowns, and I like this decision on his part. It makes it difficult for Never Lucky to decide their cooldown management. You'd normally see Infernals and Dark Soul used at the same time, but by splitting them up, he's got 2 threats that they need an answer for. Now that anti-magic zone isn't available for Infernals in 10 seconds, Zach is still getting pressured. Colo's caught in a fear with no trinket. Will he fall? If they can break this Touch of Karma, WizK's going for it, gets interrupted. Zach doesn't want to risk it, similarly to game number 1, and Colo gets sapped out of that crowd control. Perfect timing by Peekaboo. Zach still dangerously low. Potentially the Move take it here. The Ring of Peace denies a bit of damage, but ultimately Zach is going to get crushed. The Move now advanced to match point.
All right, now, we really haven't had a chance completely throw the entire region of NA up in the air. They can be the gatekeepers here, but first up, it's the Move versus Never Lucky. The Move trying to end this one and move forward. Never Lucky going to try to solidify their place in the top 4.
This is the best shot that the Move are going to get, and it's possibly the final shot that the Move are going to get if they want to qualify to the Spring Finals. They can take fate into their own hands. They can remove their own competition. Never Lucky currently in that 4th place slot. If the Move can overcome them, advance and take a 1st place finish, they set themselves up so well for Cup number 6 to make it all the way. Will WizK substitute on this Destruction Warlock? Absurd switching over to Druid. Have they finally stepped up their play to compete with the best now on a new composition? So far they're looking solid against Never Lucky, but when they advance to the next round, potentially having to face the boys, which we would argue is a tier above with that Windwalker Death Knights, will they be able to overcome that? So much on the line for the Move.
Yeah, definitely. We'll have to see what they can get done in this game. I'm going to be looking at the gear here shortly for Never Lucky. I want to see if they've made any adaptations in this game, try to help Zach survive a little bit more. Well, we'll definitely have to see. Zach moves in, still trying to roll some pressure onto WizK, but Absurge looking to deny and redirect that damage with Thorns. Valido making a push with the Asphyxiate stun on Absurge, initiating some crowd control. Colo playing a little bit safe right now. Doesn't want to wave the crane just yet. He's been doing a little bit better of a job so far, picking his moments when his team is low and he can make the best use of Wave the Crane, both defensively and offensively, for a big push onto WizK. And I think now that Absurge already committed the Iron Bark, this is a great time for Colo where they can get aggressive, commit the Touch of Death, try to get the Unending Resolve, and start getting some cooldowns rolling from the Move.
All right, Absurge's mana is not looking great. Now gripped into a double stun. The one thing I love about Peekaboo is he knows when Absurge is going to get death gripped, and he always sidesteps, avoids being stunned, and doesn't allow himself to get bursted down. That's really high-level awareness. He's not tunneling into maximizing his damage. He knows exactly where Absurge is positioned, and he's avoiding so many stun locks. not only reducing the damage that he takes, but also maximizing the damage that he does. It's very subtle when he's able to do it, but he's doing it consistently. I think that may have been the 4th or 5th leg sweep in a row that I see Peekaboo just sidestep and avoid. The other thing that I love about the move is they're always calculated. They don't just immediately send the Infernals in and try and max out their damage. They'll play it patiently. They'll wait in the shadows, try and see some hesitation, potential weakness, and then immediately pounce on that weakness to try and go for a kill. I like what Whiskey is doing in this position. Infernals, no Dark Soul. Is he going to combo it together? Will he mix it up this time around is then the real question. Colo's caught in a fear. It would be a good opportunity for WizK to go all the way. If he can get these Chaos Bolts off, they're going to hit huge. Zach gets crushed. Multiple defensive cooldowns forced on that. Still signs of weakness, but now counter-aggression. WizK is being pressured down. Peekaboo's trying to support him. With Thorns activated, both teams could be in trouble.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of pressure here onto WizK. Zach and a kidney shot with no touch of karma. Going to be feeling vulnerable as he transcendence away to safety. And Colo connect the heals. If we look at mana, Colo are already down to around 50%. The move has been doing a great job making sure they're keeping up consistent pressure in this game. Absurge sneaks away for a drink. Unfortunately for him, that gets shut down. And Neverlucky are able to secure that mana lead, which is very important. And I've noticed after looking at Neverlucky's gear, none of them are running Maledict, which is really interesting. That's not something we normally see from any team. I feel like, for the most part, it's very standard to run all 3 Gladiators Maledict's Trinket. They're opting not to, and I think it's potentially because of the Nether Ward from WizK, but still, I feel like that's something they could definitely use to punish WizK when he's using Nether Ward to reflect touch of karma damage.
Not running Maledict, that just tells me that they want to win on mana 100%, and so far they do at least have that win condition, but Gladiator's Maledict is easily the strongest potential burst in the game right now, and I'm not sure if I agree with that decision on their part. We see another sap out of fear. Peekaboo setting up for a win. Can WizK get these Chaos Bolts off? Zach's on the run. Maledict flies in from Absurge. They're looking to close. Colo still in center field, not getting in line of sight of Zach. WizK, though, is pinned down, not able to connect, forced to attack Valido. And before dampening, all of these Chaos Bolts will be nullified by the Death Strike of Valido. Mana still in favor of Neverlucky. They're looking strong to go to a match point with a game number 5, but it will be on 12 on Arena, and I'm almost wondering if they're going to change composition on game number 5 to maybe the Demon Hunter Death Knight. WizK getting pressured, Neverlucky trying to just overwhelm him with huge burst potential. Tries to gate to safety, but you're not going to be kiting monks too effectively. Valido is having a hard time reconnecting, but inevitably does. Death Grip gets missed on the leg sweep. Big mistake there. Valido able to cover it up with a stun of his own. Maybe potentially get a kill off the back of it. Peekaboo with great peel, saving the day. Great awareness, realizing that dire situation with no one any resolve and no Iron Bark. He uses blind on the Windwalker, who has no trinket. Zach will have to sit through that, and a sap, which is an extended chain, 16 seconds for Absurge to restabilize and rotate their defensive cooldowns. Peekaboo trying to stall it out, but now without blind available on Colo, they do lose some offensive potential. So it's a good stall tactic, but now they're going to lose opportunity. They're trying to cover it up. WizK drops the Infernals. Smoke Bomb gets dropped. Huge damage potential from the move as they look to close it out, and they do so. I love watching the move, man. Just find these opportunities.
Bakery is open. So we're going to be seeing Bert and Varin. They're going to be spec'd into that greater Pyroblast, that G-Pie, and they are going to be looking to sheep up Shanli Orthogonomics, maybe get a ring on Gorecki, and they're both going to be channeling out those, going to be casting, going to be baking those greater pies onto one of their targets. At the same time, the Druid is going to be trying to stun lock whoever they are casting those greater Pyroblasts on and go for basically big one-shots. I expect Chun-Li to be a very juicy target for them, but also Gorecki.
Oh, Gorecki running that feral affinity. I'm curious to see if Easy Money decide to go after him at all. Pressure onto Varin early on, crowd control onto Tuna. This could be a cauterize so early on. Bert trying to save the day. Polymorphs on Thugonomics managing. They actually get the cauterize from Varin through the Iron Bark. That is not a good start for the Bakery whatsoever.
Yeah, definitely not ideal. We'll have to see what Bert and Varin can get done. Typically, Destruction Warlocks are really good into this composition. They have a lot of Destruction with Fear, with Spelllock, with Mortal Coil, and Shadow Fury. So single-handedly, he can shut down a lot of these greater Power Blasts, but as long as Thugonomics gets interrupted on Fear, he gets spam polymorphed, that's an opportunity for Bert and Varin to try to build up some damage. But I think Gorecki, Chun-Li, and Thugonomics are relatively experienced in this matchup. One greater Power Blast, potentially a second, but Chun-Li's just going to respond. He's going to respect with the touch of Karma, and I think It's likely he plays very defensive from this point forward, fortifying Brew as he moves forward. Oh, I'm a little bit scared for Chun-Li right now. All he has is the diffuse magic. Gorecki with no Iron Bark. Beautiful offensive Cyclone, but good damage here onto Burt. Might be able to get the Cauterize proc from him as well. Chun-Li forces out the Cauterize, and now both Vern and Burt are very exposed targets here, as none of them have that cheat death mechanic from the Fire Mage.
One Greater Pyro, Garen preemptively temporal shielding on these Chaos Bolts. Another Greater Pyro, Chun-Li is able to duck around the corner. It's basically, you need 2 of those from both mages at the same time to really be threatening. Currently with the positioning Chun-Li has, he can escape to safety if he needs to, but he won't be able to if he's polymorphs, as we see Varen and Burt cooking up some double Greater Pyros. Ursul's Vortex almost pulls them into a double stun if Chun-Li had waited just a moment longer. Thugonomics is trying to ramp up some damage, looking for crowd control. Securing a fear, not onto the Restoration Druid, onto the Mage, a little bit peculiar. These mages need to be careful. Without Cauterize, they can't rely on that to save themselves. They're going to have to predict the damage and Ice Block at a much safer margin. The pressure from the boys here is stellar. Thugonomics on that Destruction Warlock is devastating.
Yeah, definitely. Chaos Bolt's being cast out. Vern and Burt just looking for resets, and this composition is all about just destroying someone 100-0 very quickly. It's not necessarily about consistent damage. You're always looking for setups. That's why you see them throwing out polymorphs onto Chun-Li out of the polymorphs. That's when they try to go for the cast. But when you have Thugonomics backing you up, you have Gorecki constantly going for these restelts. It becomes very difficult. Chun-Li now getting really aggressive with the Touch of Death and Maledict onto Burt. It does manage to redirect a lot of the damage, but still forced into the Ice Block. And I mean, for easy money, this is not looking good for them. They don't really have too many defensive cooldowns left to work with. The boys, they got some from Chun-Li, but now Touch of Karma is rotated back up. Diffuse Magic, Fortifying Brew. Chun-Li's going to be feeling healthy. Burt is not, as he's caught into a leg sweep. One Chaos Bolt lands. Thugonomics gets caught into a counterspell, into a polymorph, and now Burt looking for a Greater Pyroblast, but gets interrupted. And I have to say, the boys have been doing a great job so far, making sure they shut down a lot of the damage Easy Money has available.
Yeah, right now it's looking less and less like a bakery, or more and more like a bake sale. There's just been no pies cooked up by the team of Easy Money. They make a desperate swap to Gorecki. This is what I was hoping to see them try and do. With that Feral Affinity that can burst him down, he doesn't have access to Frenzied Regeneration. Varen blinks in, gets the Greater Pyro, but Burt is being pressured away. He can't get in line of sight. He could easily fall as Toon is feared off into the distance, now bashed up as Burt's likely to fall as the boys close it out here against the bakery. Temporal Shield's a couple seconds away for Burt, catching a quick heal, staying alive for now, and staying in the fight. Tuna needs to try and look for a drink. Both these Druids running Feral Affinity, looking for re-stealths, getting access to a free stun on their team. Definitely important to set up their caster DPS friends, the Destruction Warlock and the Fire Mage. There's just been so much disruption on these Greater Pyroblasts. We've never seen even more than just one casted at a time. Burt under fire. That Iron Bark needs to be enough for Burt to survive. Thugonomics goes all in. Unending Resolve to free cast Chaos Bolts. Really trying to end this right here and now. Trying to close down the shop, but not having enough damage to do so.
Yeah, double Greater Pyroblast being channeled out by Burt and Vernon. And they only really need one good setup. Thugonomics gets
that punish.
A lot of incoming pressure. Gorecki, how's he going to handle the situation? Unending Resolve was already used by Thugonomics aggressively, and now Gorecki with no Iron Bark. Thugonomics is really vulnerable. Burt looking for another Greater Pyroblast, gets stunned on it. Unfortunately, Thugonomics now retreating, and I think he should be fine. Baron gets one more off, but Thugonomics getting topped off. I think he's going to be fine. Now Touch of Death committed onto Burt. Burt struggling to survive. One Chaos Bolt connects. Polymorph spam coming in from Varen, trying to slow down the damage from the boys, but I just feel like Burt, he's in so much trouble with Tuna into a fear. What is Burt going to do? He drops out the Ring of Frost, but Chun-Li all over him. Bash onto Tuna, and Easy Money gets shut down so easily in this matchup.
Yeah, you know, really excited to Fire Mage can bring.
I mean, it certainly is an annoyance for sure. It's definitely, I would say, the best specialization to bring in a Warlock. Typically when facing a Mage, if your main goal is to just make the Mage not get any of his potential burst off, if a well-played Warlock is going to be able to do that. So seeing Thugonomics shine here against Easy Money is definitely a nice treat. Will they be able to bake up some pies here in game number 2? We're about to find out as Burt and Varen are sneaking around the outskirts of the map. They catch Gorecki! Big catch here for Easy Money. Huge hits. Gorecki manages to escape, but at the cost of basically his entire defensive lineup. He's still being pressured. Maybe they just all in. I'd love to just see an all in on Gorecki. Hunt him down, try and get him taken out very early on, but looks like he's able to recover now. He's leading the charge for the boys.
Yeah, Burt in a lot of trouble here. Iron Bark looking to deny, but Ice Block is forced out onto Burt. And sometimes as that Fire Mage, you really can't rely on the Cauterize, especially if the enemy team is using the Gladiator's Maledict on you. It will absorb that Cauterize heal. So it was good that Bert just decided to trade out that Ice Block for Cauterize, as it was likely he was going to just die through it. But he could just die anyways. Thugonomics still getting out huge pressure.
Here it is.
Becky moving in. A lot of pressure.
Boom.
Chaos Bolt lands onto Baron, the wrong Mage. That was, I don't know if that was a misfire from Thugonomics, but I think that would have just killed Bert.
I think maybe Thugonomics thought Bert was going to be able to line of sight, so he tried to fake him out, go after. Oh, Chun-Li gets bashed! Multiple Greater Pyros incoming. Chun-Li diffused magics. He's going to stay alive. Baron down the back foot. Bert falling behind. Tuna really struggling. Gorecki sneaks in a Cyclone. Both mages in trouble. It is Danger Town for the Bakery. Chun-Li as well, though, is an exposed target. Is he just going to go all out for the kill? He might overextend and go down, caught in a polymorph. This could be potential for Baron and Bert to set up. Double Greater Pyro. 2 in the oven. Tuna jumps in. They both connect. Chun-Li in tons of trouble as he gets bursted down. Barely escaping to safety around the corner. Close call for Chun-Li.
Definitely Hellstone from Thugonomics going to be paying off huge for Chun-Li in order to survive. And honestly, right now the boys, they have a lot of pressure, but Chun-Li very vulnerable on this Windwalker Monk. This is definitely aggressive play here from them, and it can be punished by easy money. Luckily, in that first exchange, Gorecki was in bear form when they opened up on him, so he's not going to get punished too hard. He didn't have to trade out his trinket. That means now that Bert and Vernon, they do once again have combustion available. Gorecki still has his trinket, Barskin, Iron Bark to work with, and that really is going to be the main threat from easy money. Big pressure on Varen once again. Tuna caught into the bash. Ice Block is forced out, and now both of these mages incredibly vulnerable.
Yeah, both these teams are just playing it out brutally. Just no signs of defense by either side, just all out trying to go for kills. We haven't seen playstyle like this in quite some time, and it's very risky to do, but maybe they can pull it off. Maybe that's how they can penetrate through the defense of the Destruction Warlock, is just by going all out. Let's just try and get a kill. Who cares what it costs us? Try and catch them off guard, but so far the boys have not been caught off guard. Easy Money finally retreating away into a better defensive position. Bert gets caught, trying to blink back, looking for one Greater Pyroblast, but without Varen casting at the same time, it's a lot less threatening. Chun-Li has his entire defensive lineup. This is looking solid for the boys to close. They've got a significant mana lead. What can Easy Money do here? Now caught into a fear, Thugonomics pushes forward. Touch of Death available. Double Polymorph. Usually Polymorph is where we see the Greater Pyros be set up, but they're so far behind that they're just unable to. Finally, double Greater Pyro being cast. Chun-Li stalls both of them.
Nice plays. Beautiful spear hand strike on Bert with the paralysis on Varen, able to shut down that play from Easy Money, who was looking to set up onto Gorecki. That was really, really nicely done, and the boys consistently shutting this down. They definitely know the win condition of Easy Money. So far, they've been doing a great job to deny that. Varen taking some pressure. He gets interrupted. Interrupt on Bert as well. Both Greater Pyroblast being stopped. Thugonomics now looking for some Chaos Bolts. Finds one on Bert. He uses Temporal Shield to deny a lot of that incoming damage, but still Thugonomics casting out a lot of Chaos Bolts here as Easy Money is forced to retreat.
All right, Tuna, is he going to sit down for a drink and regenerate mana? It doesn't look like he's just jumping into the fight, bashing up Thugonomics. Meteors connect, but Iron Bark from Gorecki easily stalls that push. Maybe not. Double Greater Pyros. One in the sky. Thugonomics tucks around the corner, takes the hit. Gorecki recovers quite easily. Chun-Li looking like he wants to push forward, but line is sighting Greater Pyroblast at the same time. Tactical push here from the team of the boys as Gorecki jumps in, trying to initiate for the kill. Gets deflected with the Dragon's Breath, but then responded to by Thugonomics' Infernals. Dark Soul, big burst potential. If Thugonomics can get in line of sight of anybody here, he might use the Unending Resolve aggressively. Goes for the Mortal Coil, combos it into the Bolt. Huge hit onto Bert. No block for 2 seconds. Is he going to fall? 1 second. Ice Block available and manages to stay alive, but I'm going to chalk that up to a little bit of luck on the side of Easy Money.
Yeah, 1 second left before that Touch of Death was about to end Bert's World of Warcraft life, so definitely a little bit lucky there. Fortunate timing for that Ice Block. Gorecki still making an offensive push, and Gorecki's just been constantly re-stealthing, finding these bashes, even gating in on top of Tuna to make sure he's playing aggressive and setting his team up. One Greater Pyroblast on Chun-Li. He's getting low, but with Bert having no Ice Block, he can safely use the Touch of Karma without the threat of that being removed and can redirect some of this damage. He's going to be feeling confident, pushing forward, still finding some good damage on Bert. Leg Sweep was traded out with the Storm, Earth, and Fire. What is Bert going to do? The beautiful Vortex by Gorecki, setting up Chun-Li, pulling Bert back after he blinks away. Once again, Ring Piece denies a greater power blast from Varen, and the boys really have been doing an excellent job with all the tools they have to shut down Easy Money. What is Easy Money going to do? Another Chaos Bolt lands onto Burt. He's looking to run away, denies with the Dragon's Breath for a moment. Tuna has to keep him alive. Fists of Fury all over Burt. Chun-Li could be in some trouble as well, as Varen is counter-pressuring with his combustion, but I think it's Burt that's ultimately on the back foot.
Yeah, Tuna crowd controlled for some time. Thugonomics looks to close this out. Gorecki secures the kill. The boys now put Easy Money on match point and look to close the bakery.
Burt gonna feel the hurt there too. They enter Ruins of Lordaeron.
And NC's gonna be substituted in as Tuna's gonna try and cook a tuna casserole instead. Closing down the bakery, trying to mix it up and bring in some diversity. This composition did allow them to beat the Banditos earlier on in the tournament, but it's not a super potent composition. In the past, it used to be strong at dismantling Destruction Warlocks, and I'm interested to see if it is still the case even after that Demon Armor addition to the class.
Yep, Easy Money, the spice was not nice, so they have to switch it up a little bit. In game number 3, with everything on the line for this team, the boys looking to clean sweep on Ruins of Lordaeron. Thugonomics going to be shut down. And typically the Warrior with the Fire Mage is going to be good.
Oh, they're going after Gorecki.
Here, but it looks like they're actually going after Gorecki, potentially trying to really punish that Barrel Affinity. What is Gorecki going to do? Honestly, out of all the Druids I've seen in these tournaments, Gorecki has done the best job at surviving, but a huge all-in onto Burt. Gladiator's Maledict completely absorbs that Cauterize.
Took it to a whole nother level. Obviously, Never Lucky, having faced against this already on the move, they've decided to make some changes. Colo, instead of playing Mistweaver, is now playing Restoration Druid, which tells me that they want to focus more on that passive playstyle, and they may still be hesitating. And when you're facing 2 BlizzCon champions, any sign of weakness is going to be an opportunity for them to immediately take advantage of.
Yep, bash on Colo, Zac into a kidney shot, gets the Iron Bark, looking to deny the initial assault of Super Frogs, as Valido and Zac getting hyper-aggressive on Chanimals. Chanimals responds with Infernals. That's going to be a scary moment for Zac and Valido. And looking quickly at the gear, Zac's actually managed to switch over to Safeguard and the Maledict Trinket, which I think is a lot better, a lot more standard, and could potentially save his life, as you see it proc right now. But Chanimals looking to shred through it. Big damage on Zac. Karma is forced out because he is in a kidney shot. He's on the run. They shred through it, turning their attention now onto Valido, who could be in some trouble.
What?
Has to play
What?
What just happened?
I've never seen someone deleted like that.
The move entered this tournament with 132 points. Never Lucky was tied for 4th with 180. The move already knows that they sit in a better spot in the bracket than Never Lucky, and if Never Lucky falls behind here, all of a sudden, we may see the move catch up and take that 4th spot.
Yeah, and I'd like to correct myself. Never Lucky actually did get a point against the move on Dalaran Sewers. They played to their win condition, weighted to 20-30% dampening, and that's when they could make an all-in push onto WizK. We need to see something similar here onto Chanimals, because if they are making favorable trades defensively, I think they can survive, especially when line of sighting against a lot of the damage Chanimal has available, and then eventually they can make that all-in push where Chanimal doesn't have the damage to sort of force them to run away, and he's just too far on the back foot, and that's when Never Lucky can really get a win.
All right, Chanimal baiting interrupts with Fear. Now looking to get a Chaos Bolt. This is the scary moment we saw in game number 1. Valido in this position says, yep, I'm not going anywhere near you, Chanimal. I know exactly what's going to happen. After game number 1, Never Lucky playing it as safe as possible. Chanimal getting gripped in, decides to use that Gliders Medallion to get aggressive, fearing up Colo. Really good setup on Chanimal's part. There's the anti-magic zone. Fair trade with the Dark Soul. Going to be a lot less devastating. However, being stacked up for triple Fan of Knives is allowing Snuts to maximize his damage.
Yeah, and that's one of the things about this setup is, although you can line of sight the Warlock, when you do so, that allows Snuts to just get out so much consistent pressure. And right now, I'm really not sold on the Restoration Druid from Colo over the Mistweaver Monk. I feel like Colo on that Druid is going to struggle in terms of mana, not going to be able to live quite as long, and then he doesn't have that final push with the Way of the Crane, so we'll have to see exactly what Never Lucky can get done, but I still don't know if I necessarily agree with the decision to switch off that Mistweaver Monk, as it was looking so good for them.
Snuts is getting pressure onto 3 targets. This isn't good for Colo. His mana is starting to burn down quickly. Zac's trying to make a counter attack. Colo trying to engage crowd control. Opts to not go for the Cyclone. Maybe he couldn't get through the spell lock in time, but now without that Cyclone, his team is going to lose a huge opportunity to get an unending resolve, maybe even a kill. Zach uses Touch of Karma a bit prematurely to redirect damage. I'm not sure if that was even necessary. Zach's now an open target. Chanimal, though, is still falling behind. Cubsy locked out crowd control. Good chain. Has to use the Gliders Medallion. Still falling behind. Tons of damage onto Chanimal. Never Lucky showing signs of life. Nice ring apiece. Chanimal pinned downstairs. Cubsy trying to reposition to get back in line of sight. Able to do so now. Colo sneaks in. Looking for maybe a Cyclone. Not going to be risking it just yet with both Cubsy and Colo dancing on top of each other. Hibernate attempt. Gets dodged by Colo. Zach on the run. That Touch of Karma. They're looking to try and punish it. Zach gets Ursul's Vortex on his port. Nice job there. That Snuts just can't connect. Now forced to go back after Valido. Mana even at this point, and it's anyone's match.
Yeah, Zach vulnerable. He used his everyman for himself racial to get out of the last kidney shot. With Relentless, will not have another escape from the crowd control coming in from Snuts if he does manage to land the kidney shot. And guess what? Snuts has Vendetta. Zach in a kidney shot, Iron Bar connected. Snuts still holding on to that Vendetta, so definitely look out for that next kidney shot on Zach, as it's going to be lethal. Valido's going to have to respond with his anti-magic zone in order for Never Lucky to survive.
Let's see how Zach survives here. 10-second window of time. Snuts can close this out. Zach needs to be careful. He's running away for now, but Snuts is ready to move in. Cubsy gets clotheslined. When are you going to pull the trigger on it, Snuts? You're running out of time. Touch of Karma now available. Maybe they go after Colo. I actually think a swap to Colo wouldn't even be that bad based on the positioning. Instead, going after Valido. I don't like that. I think there was a lot better targets for that kidney shot. They do manage to at least pull the Gladiator's Medallion. Maybe an opportunity to exploit later on. Colo trying to sit down for a drink, and the team of the Super Frogs are able to deny it. Very important that they can have a mana advantage. Chanimal getting stun locked behind the pillar. Colo looking to get crowd control. Ursul's Vortex into a clone. Good setup by Colo. Chanimal gets punted out of line of sight. Chanimal looks to counter engage. Dropping those Infernals. It might be a race to the finish here. Is it a race that Chanimal can win? Doesn't look like it. He's on the back foot. Unending Resolve. Although now he could counter pressure quite heavily. He's ramped up huge Chaos Bolts. Will Anti-Magic Zone be enough defense to deny the Chaos Bolt kill here of Chanimal? That defense is going to be fading shortly. Zach needs to be ready for it. One Chaos Bolt could close this out if he's able to get it off. Zach ducks around the corner. Line of sights it. Chanimal then turns his attention to Valido. Fake cast the Mind Freeze, but Valido now ducks out of line of sight. Chaos Bolt tossed out on Colo because Chanimal has no other choice, but actually bursting him down quite heavily.
Another Chaos Bolt lands, potentially gets interrupted there, but Colo completely out of mana, has just used Innervate. Things are not looking good here for Never Lucky. Cubsy still doing quite healthy. He's on around 25% mana. Chanimal gets caught into a stun. Zach and Valido once again with a beautiful ring apiece, bringing Chanimal out of position. Mortal Coil secured there by Chanimal with a kidney shot on Zach.
That's it.
Full blind on Colo. What is Zach going to do?
He's gonna die.
Inevitably fall down. Thank you for ruining my analysis.
Plain and simple, they're scared.
You know, I would be too. You see yourself in a position where it looks like you're going to land. You're a new team that's consistently placed. Just made it to broadcast every week, I think. So they've made it to top 8 about every week. And all of a sudden, at the finish line, the move is about to catch you. The move is about to make it so you don't get to go to that first land. After being a team that's pioneered new compositions in the current meta, has multi-classed so many different times, it may not be enough. Never Lucky's road could end in that 6th cup. And all of a sudden, yeah, you get scared. Super Frogs looking to totally dominate.
Yeah, definitely. We'll have to see what they can get done here. Never Lucky. It's been a scary road for them in this series so far. Super Frogs has been having a lot of pressure, and they've really been struggling to deal with it. Colo getting caught into a kidney shot early on. Anti-Magic Zone gets traded out, but
why?
Chanimal, he hasn't used Infernal. He hasn't used the Dark Soul. Never Lucky definitely misplaying a bit there.
Huge Infernal. What are you going to do, Colo? The pressure's on. It's match point. This could be an opportunity for the move to sneak into your 4th place position. You can't afford any mistakes. Kidney shot on the way of the crane. Good play by Snuts. They don't have any follow-up. Colo's going to connect, stabilize the team. Now it could be a good opportunity to push Chanimal over. Maybe Never Lucky can squeeze in a win here and get a kill early on. Cubsy looking to deny it. Not even forcing an Iron Bark with that way of the crane. It's going to be devastating for Never Lucky. Mana still even. Very surprised to see Tolvaron Arena. Finally, some mistakes actually from Super Frogs. A little bit of a premature kidney shot by Snuts on Colo. Would have liked to have seen that saved for the diminishing return to have its full effect. Now Snuts is vulnerable here, overextended. Valido's going to pull back, but in that starting room, no, okay, they're not going to stay in the starting room for any amount of time. I was going to say Chanimal's just going to free cast on them. Back to the pillar they go. So it's obvious that Neverlucky's strategy is to avoid Chanimal as long as possible. Maybe some Death Grip stuns, so it's absolutely safe to do so on a push, but Neverlucky's main objective is to just avoid the Super Frogs until Deep Dampening, make a push on Chanimal, and overwhelm him. But the Super Frogs, they're on point, and I'm not sure if Neverlucky are going to survive that long.
Yeah, and Zach, once again, he's opted to switch off of the Gladiator's Maledict and the Safeguard and is going with the Insignia and the Badge, which is just going to give him more agility so he can make more of an offensive push with this Tiger Eye Brew. They really are looking for an all-in strategy here on Chanimal, and it is fairly obvious that they just want to delay. They want to delay as long as possible, but Snuts has been doing a good job pushing in. Colo caught in midfield. Chanimal setting him up here potentially for a swap. If Snuts can come back and land a kidney shot on Colo,
that's unfortunate.
It would be really scary, but Colo manages to get out of line of sight off the back of that fear. And Snuts has just been pressuring down Valido and Zach. But the good thing for Zach and Valido is they have the ability to sustain themselves quite well on that Death Knight and Windwalker. Now, Snuts getting gripped in, forced to trade out his Gladiator's Medallion, or sorry, his Every Man for Himself racial, as well as the Feint to stay alive.
All right, let's see. I would have maybe liked to seen Cubsy commit the Thorns there. Maybe he's saving it for Way of the Crane. Colo, in the meantime, has reset his mana pool, setting his team up for the strategy that they are likely to employ here on Tolvaron Arena. And the other thing, too, is that if they can manage to take Tolvaron Arena out of the pool, you have to consider the other compositions that the Super Frogs have at their disposal. They've been playing a lot of Destruction Warlock, Frost Mage, and Shadow Priest Frost Mage. So if Neverlucky can take Tolvaron away from the Super Frogs strategically, while it is really risky to do so, at least they're not facing down one of those Wizard Cleaves. Huge burst opportunity here onto Chanimal. Maybe Neverlucky just closes it out with tons of damage. Snuts being pressured down as well. Good interrupts onto Cubsy. All three members connect. Chanimal in trouble.
It definitely could be as he gets lower. Unending Resolve forced out as well. Cubsy into a paralysis, forced to trinket out. Chanimal getting lower. Can Zach and Valido take him down? This should be huge for Neverlucky to stay in it. Chanimal manages to stay on, or stay alive. Now kidney shot onto Valido. He trades out Icebound Fortitude as Neverlucky is looking to continue this offensive push.
All right, Neverlucky showing signs of life here with a big push, pulling multiple defensive cooldowns. But now, Infernals are available. Vendetta already rolling for Snuts. Looking to try and get aggressive. Chains of Ice making it difficult. Chanimal just wants to get in line of sight of anything. He's Chaos Bolting the Ghoul, trying to just get any amount of damage. Maybe remove that away from Valido's toolkit. Unable to connect for now. They've got pressure on the Fell Hunter as well, so they can maybe deny Colo from being able to drink. Chanimal's going to pull the Fell Hunter away so it doesn't end up going down. Valido tries to move into center field to deny Cubsy's drink. I think he was able to snipe it out with a Death and Decay. Now Cubsy in crowd control. Snuts locked down in the stun. Not actually going after him. A little bit unfortunate. It looks like with Colo having no trinkets, he could be vulnerable. He's already hiding at the pillar though. Zach rolling out, getting feared. They're really trying to deny Cubsy's drinks because that's one thing that the Super Frogs could turn in their favor. If they have mana, Cubsy can power out a couple nourishes. It's unlikely they'll be able to overwhelm Chanimal. Big push here for Colo with that Way of the Crane. Gets bashed on it. They need to crowd control him. Chanimal's trying to fake cast multiple interrupts to fear the Way of the Crane, but he's not finding it. Good teamwork on Neverlucky's part to deny the crowd control. Clean setup. Perfect play by Neverlucky here as they're polishing things up.
Yeah, looking a lot better in this matchup. Incapacitate on the Cubsy. Paralysis, what is he going to do? Gets out of the crowd control. Chanimal going to be fine. Snuts could be a little bit of a vulnerable target here, but with Evasion and Cloak of Shadow should be able to shrug off a lot of this damage. And I want to see the same thing from Neverlucky. Right now, maybe they're getting ahead of themselves making these trades. I feel like if they just do the same thing, rinse and repeat what they did onto Chanimal with Touch of Death, with Tiger Eye Brew, gripping him in, out of line of sight, stunning him up with a huge offensive push. All of a sudden, Chanimal, he doesn't have the Unending Resolve to fall back on. Now Zach forced in a position where he's going to have to play a little bit defensive. He gets the Life Cocoon from Colo. He trades out his Trinket and Touch of Karma. Although redirecting that damage onto Chanimal, he could be in some trouble. There's the leg sweep. Safeguard gets shredded through. Infernal's dropped out by Chanimal as well as the Hellstone, keeping him alive, and now Neverlucky has to play scared.
Yeah, that Infernal is going to be scary. Colo gets caught in a kidney shot. Chanimal gets denied on the Chaos Bolt. Although now they're moving back into midfield. This is very risky for Colo. Anti-Magic Zone protects them. Multiple Maledicts, they managed to remove it. Way of the Crane super effective at powering through that effect. Good teamwork there on the part of Neverlucky, once again supporting each other to try and take down Chanimal. They got a 20-second window to do so, but that is slowly slipping away from their grasp. They overlapped cooldowns earlier with Touch of Karma and Life Cocoon. That could be an opening now for the Super Frogs to just close the series out. Will they find the crowd control? Doesn't look like it. Zach retreats away. Much better defensive positioning. Their mana isn't looking too good. I'd say their teamwork and coordination has improved, but that mana efficiency on Colo is just not there.
Yeah, and that could end up causing them to lose this match for sure. Cubsy has been able to sneak away a few times and get a little bit of mana. Once again, Life Cocoon going to be thrown out by Colo. Preemptive measure onto Zach. He's about to take some burst. Leg sweep committed. Chanimal not really taking too much damage though. Now with Thorns, Valito and Zach going to have to really think twice about attacking into it, but they don't seem to care. They're going to be taking a lot of that redirected damage, and that's an opportunity for Snuts and Chanimal to take advantage of that. Zach with no trinket, still incredibly vulnerable. Smoke bomb available for Snuts as well. Zach's once again, a DR stun coming in from Snuts. The half duration, they're really losing out a lot of value. So far, Superfrog's misplayed twice with that in this matchup.
Yeah, Snuts needs to try and slow down on these kidney shots. If you use them on diminishing return, it's half value. And you don't want your stuns at half value with a Destruction Warlock who wants to be casting into a stun target so it doesn't interrupt him. They definitely can't afford these mistakes. Spell lock, nice time there. Zach predicts the attack and gets that Touch of Karma up right before being stunned. If he was not able to do that, I think that he would be dead in this position. But now they're counter-aggressing towards Chanimal. Dampening is in and ramped up to 20%. Chanimal could fall. He's being very greedy with this unending resolve. Uses it far too late, and Never Lucky managed to put a point on the board, and more importantly, take Tolvaron away from the Super Frogs. Potentially, Kolos.
We see the bracket shape up here.
The one thing that is 100% positive, though, is the move wants to see Never Lucky lose. So, like, that is their main competition. They want to see Never Lucky get destroyed at all costs. Never Lucky, on the other hand, is going to want those two have just became the main competition for each other in North America. Both of those teams want the 4th spot. Never Lucky looking a little bit scared to get it here. Super Frog's going to try to close this out with a brand new composition in the series.
Yeah, Super Frogs initiate the first attack. Colo predicts the crowd control and activates a defensive cooldown right before it, denying any damage on Zach. Now we see Never Lucky looking to counter-engage. Ultiman predicts that attack and has Temporal Shield rolling right before he takes huge hits, which is why we don't see the health bars moving too much. Both these teams playing at the top level here in game number 4.
Yeah, and normally you would expect a Shadow Priest to be targeted against a Windwalker Death Knight, but I think what Never Lucky's trying to do is shut down Wealthy Man a little bit. He's playing a build that really relies on spamming out Frostbolts in order to do consistent damage with the Lonely Winter and the Tunnel of Ice Azurite trait. So if you can sit on Wealthy Man, he's going to be doing less damage, but that means Snuts is wide open. And as a Shadow Priest, you have a lot of tools to set up your team. You can do the Psychic Horror on the healer, into a Fear, into a Silence, and if Cole's getting constantly crowd controlled, Snuts is going to be able to carry the team quite a bit. Wealthy Man just has to hold on.
All right, we really criticized Zach's Transcendence portals. He was mispositioning it, forgetting to relay it, and when you're fighting this composition, that mistake costs you the game. You can't afford to make that mistake. So let's see if Zach has improved that play now here for his last chance to stay in the tournament and maybe their last chance to hold on to that 4th place position. Once again, Wealthy Man predicts the attack has Temporal Shield. If he didn't do this, that would have been an ice block easily. I mean, he got bursted through it. Maybe even still so, may have to ice block. At the same time, Colo in a polymorph. Zach gets stunned up, but they're trying to burst him down. Frozen Orb is going to be dropped. Wealthy Man then trying to avoid any magic shield trades effectively for that, although I don't think Valito is really ever going to be the target. I think it's more so for Valito to just stay and have good uptime. Mana not looking too good for Cubsy. If Never Lucky can stay on top of Cubsy, deny his drinks, they could potentially win on mana. One thing that the Super Frogs are doing is they're really mixing up their targeting. Basically, whoever moves in the open takes a little bit of damage. I mean, right now, Colo is in the open, so Wealthy Man tossed a bit of hits towards him, trying to scare Colo away, maybe out of position, then try and go after a different target. And this is, I think, good target selection by the Super Frogs because Never Lucky are hesitant. They may be more likely to make mistakes if you try and mix your targeting up and not make it exactly 100% who you're going after. If they can stay unpredictable, that will be important for Super Frogs to find victory.
Yeah, and on that Unholy Death Knight, I really like that Valito decided to go with Gnome. It's really effective against Frost Mages, as the only thing that really controls up a Death Knight is the roots, like the Frost Nova. So if you can break those roots with the Escape Artist Racial, that's going to be big. In the meantime, though, Wealthy Man getting bursted down. Ironbark overlapped with the Ice Block. And I really like what Never Lucky's doing. Wealthy Man kind of greeted it with the build that he's playing. And like I said, if they can sit on him, he's not going to be able to do that much damage. And it seems like Colo has been able to deal with the pressure Snuts has been putting out so far in the game.
So far, I think this is Never Lucky's best game. And if it keeps going like this, I think we're going to a game 5, and they've pulled Tolvaron and Ashamain out of the pool, which are very important maps for the Super Frogs Wizard compositions to deal with the melee compositions that Never Lucky have brought to the competition. this is actually not looking too great for the Frogs or the move in the upper bracket. If you're the move, you're putting on your Super Frog pom-poms and cheering for them to win and knock them out and give the move a chance. But right now, Never Lucky are showing signs of life. They've got a mana advantage. There haven't been any significant cooldown mistakes, whereas on the Super Frogs, they're really far behind. There has been cooldown mistakes. There's only one ice block remaining. We haven't even made it to dampening, and I'm starting to think Never Lucky are going to do it.
They definitely could. It looks like they have cleaned up their gameplay quite a bit, building a little bit of confidence, winning that last game. And in this matchup in particular, it's been looking good for them. Wealthy Man's been under pressure quite a bit. Zach getting low, though. Mind controlled. He still has all his defensive cooldowns available if he needs them, but he gets topped off quite quickly there by Colo. Wealthy Man throwing out the Temporal Shield. That's one major check mark for Never Lucky. If they can get the Iron Bark from Cubsy, that's the moment where they can make the offensive push with the Touch of Death from Zach. Get that second ice block. Although, unfortunately for them, Snuts still has the safety net of the Void Shift. And I think if Super Frogs can hold on, inevitably it's going to become very difficult for Colo to actually heal through the Shadow Priest pressure as dampening ramps up.
Colo looks like he wants to make a push. Can they get the second ice block before dampening? That would spell devastation for the Super Frogs. Zach getting crowd controlled. Wealthy Man in desperation to pause out the fight as long as possible, managing to do so. But now caught into a leg sweep. Crowd control and Cubsy. Situation looks good to force an ice block right now for Never Lucky. Mind control spam desperately by Snuts to hold on to it as long as possible, but ultimately forced to use the second ice block. Cubsy is totally tapped on mana, and Never Lucky look like a completely different team.
Yeah, Cubsy, is he going to be able to sneak away for a drink? It doesn't look like it. Never Lucky have been all over him in this matchup so far. Now as Wealthy Man, you're going to be scared. Safeguard overlapped with the ice block. No cold snap for 3 minutes. Never Lucky definitely has the tools they need to close out this game. It's going to be up to Snuts to make sure he holds on to his Gladiator Medallion so he doesn't get caught in crowd control and can actually use that Void Shift to try to carry Wealthy Man until he can get Ice Block available once again, once Cold Snap comes off cooldown. But Cubsy is also going to have to look for a drink. He can't sustain for much longer. We're at 5% dampening. There's really, normally you don't see a Restoration Druid go completely out of mana at this point in the game, but they've been doing such a good job shutting down his ability to sneak away and get drinks. Wealthy Man blinks away. Zach could be in some trouble. No Touch of Karma for another 5 seconds. Trades out the Fortifying Brew. Good pressure here from the Super Frogs as Zach is getting lower, but with that Diffuse Magic, he should be able to survive. Cubsy sneaks away, and Colo's unable to find him. Cubsy finally did it. He managed to sneak away. I think he's getting tons of mana, and this is going to put Super Frogs exactly where they want to be, which is in the lead.
Yeah, slight mana lead now for the Super Frogs, but still down 2 ice blocks. One big wave of the Crane push might just close this game out, and they're going for it. Will they find the kill? Wealthy Man gets pinned back. Cubsy gets crowd control. Cubsy, if they get interrupted, they interrupt the Nourish. This could be it. We might be moving to a game 5. Snuts stalls it out with a double Psychic Scream. They need to keep stalling it out just a tad bit longer. Cubsy really under-responding, getting interrupted multiple times and may not react in time. Wealthy Man gets bursted. Cubsy still locked out in crowd control. Multiple interrupt chains. I'm so surprised to see Wealthy Man staying alive in this position. Cubsy gets gripped in on the cast. Are there any more interrupts for Cubsy's Nourish? One connects. Cubsy repositions. He doesn't want to get interrupted. Now Colo gets counterspelled. Close call for Wealthy Man. He must have a Guardian Angel to survive that assault. Surely if that happens again, Never Lucky are going to move to match point.
Well, Snuts has Void Shift. The patience coming in from the Super Frogs there. Cubsy managed to hold on with just the Iron Bark, but another attempt here on a Wealthy Man. Snuts might have to keep him alive with his Void Shift. What is he going to do? Wealthy Man gets lower. Snuts saves his life, trading his own HP for Wealthy Man's. Wealthy Man now only has 33 seconds left on that Cold Snap, but the pressure from Never Lucky is unrelenting. How is Wealthy Man going to survive? They need counter pressure. Colo completely tapped on mana, using the last little bit for the Way of the Crane, trying to take down Wealthy Man, and now this is a disastrous situation for Never Lucky. The Super Frogs can start getting momentum. They could easily close out this game.
I mean, it's a race to the finish at this point. 13 seconds away on that Cold Snap. Wealthy Man needs to buy time. 10 seconds. It would be the most unfortunate death if this were to occur in the next 6 seconds. Snuts is stalling it out with another beautiful triple Psychic Scream. 2 more seconds. Wealthy Man's got another ice block. He's maybe going to try and hold on to it so he can get 2. That's going to be pretty greedy to do if he wants to hold on to it for another minute. Cubsy almost totally tapped on mana, but that drink he was able to get earlier. Imagine if Colo was able to stop it. There's no way that the Super Frogs would be able to take this, but because Cubsy was able to sneak away, get that mana advantage, it's looking good for them. Zach is almost tapped on defensive cooldown. I mean, he is tapped on defensive cooldowns. He could easily just fall. Wealthy Man getting raced as well. He's still trying to hold out to get 2 ice blocks, and managing, no, he's not going to try and hold out any longer, doesn't want to get caught. He's going to cold snap, make sure that he's got at least one ice block. Zach in trouble. Colo has no mana left. He's caught in crowd control. This is match point. This is great for not only the Super Frogs, but the move as well, as they could take Never Lucky's 4th place position, as Zach is looking likely to fall. Colo's got nothing left to work with. Zach retreats around the corner, but for how much longer can he stay afloat?
I cannot believe he's alive. Zach throwing out the Vivifies on himself in order to keep himself alive. But now Valito caught into the open. Iceman Fortitude looking to deny the kill. Anti-magic zone. Super Frogs cannot believe it. Interrupt secured there by Wealthy Man onto Colo. Valito still in so much trouble as Zach moves forward, looking to tank out some damage, reverse the pressure here onto Wealthy Man. But with Temporal Shield, with Ice Block available, Wealthy Man and the Super Frogs, they're going to be feeling great as they look to close out this game.
Everybody is going to start rotting down. There's no mana left, and Dampening is ramped up to critical mass. Snuts knows that they've got this. He's moving into Void Form, looking to close this game out with nothing but pure pressure. Silence available. Surprised to not see it tossed out just yet. Maybe looking for more of a coordinated assault. Valito gets clothesline. This is where the Death Knight becomes vulnerable. Anti-Magic Shield prevents the kill for now. Polo is just begging for mana so he can wave the crane, but who is he going to kill? Wealthy Man's got an ice block. Cubsy just drank to full mana. Super Frogs have Never Lucky in checkmate at this point, with all 3 members stacked up behind the pillar and slowly getting whittled down. In desperation, they go after Snuts, but it would be a throw for him to go down. Triple Psychic Scream off the back end of that Death Grip, followed up by a Polymorph. Beautiful crowd control setup. Valito and Zach both exposed in midfield. Snuts moves to close. Silence secured. Multiple Maledicts flying in, soaking up the remainder, healing. Life Cocoon stalls it out. Zach makes the aggressive trade to stay in this. It's do or die for Never Lucky.
Definitely. Zach in some trouble, trades out the Touch of Karma, and Super Frogs at this point, they can't believe it. There's been so many kill opportunities for them. Never Lucky is managing to hold on, but big greedy plays from Snuts allows him to hold on to that dispersion. Now a swap over on a Wealthy Man. He's got no trinket, but a beautiful Temporal Shield should bounce him back up to full. Good pressure here from Never Lucky. Wealthy Man needs to be careful. It'd be a complete throw, like you said, if he goes down without the ice block. They have all the tools they need to survive. Zach getting low, Fortifying Brew. He's trying to keep himself alive. Colo trying to get in line of sight. Throws out a Dispel. Gets crowd controlled by that Vampiric Touch of Snuts.
Valito!
Snuts getting low. Big burst on the Valito, who's caught into a bash. I don't think Valito's getting out of this one. Wealthy Man just teeing off with Frost Bolts. Big damage, but still, somehow, some way, Never Lucky's managed to hold on a little bit longer.
They're just working with nothing left. They're on match point. They're battling it out to the bitter end to desperately close it out, but Snuts moves in. Gets another triple Psychic Scream. No crowd control off the back of it. I don't even think they should polymorph Colo. Just kill everybody. Zach falls. Wealthy Man closes it out. Super Frogs advance 3-1, and now the move have an opportunity to overthrow.
So we know that Method Orange was able to tailor this pick exactly for it. It was the one that Zico also did predict. And now as the gates open, the question on all of our minds is whether or not this rematch is going to be a repeat if we're going to see Easy Money create a major upset and send Method Orange out of this tournament early.
I think it's important to take into account when we have newcomers such as Easy Money, live broadcast is a lot different than playing in the offline stages or even just playing on the ladder with a live audience monitoring every move you make. That could definitely add a lot of pressure, so I'm curious to see how Easy Money do in that pressure cooker, currently securing crowd control into 2 members, setting themselves up pretty effectively to bake some giant greater power blasts as they swap to Sidu, looking to close it out early on. Mez protects them. Will this anti-magic shield be enough, or anti-magic zone be enough? It looks to be. The all-in from Easy Money has been thwarted. Nice wind shear by Sidu, making sure he doesn't go down to that. They did get the Glider's safeguard at least. Potentially we see a swap to Sidu again. I like that Easy Money are not afraid to go for these risky healer swaps. Definitely trying to keep Sidu on his toes.
Yeah, Varen caught into the room. Greater Power Blast secured onto Trill. Burt trying to get some counter pressure for his team. Thorn's looking to get really aggressive though. Trill commits the Touch of Death now onto Varen. He responds with the Temporal Shield to deny some of this damage, and it looks like he will be able to survive. I like the Windwalker Death Knight. I think it provides a lot more single target damage than the Demon Hunter, which is what they need to really pressure down one of these mages. But Burt's been doing a good job building up pressure for his team. Sidu forced to trinket out. Now with no Astral Shift, no Trinket. no anti-magic zone, Sea-Doo is a very vulnerable target to incoming burst damage from Easy Money if they can get a nice clean setup.
No, they've set themselves up for victory, actually. If they can get Sea-Doo in a full polymorph, set up a double-casted Greater Pyroblast, some Feral Affinity damage sprinkled on top, I think that they've got a recipe for success here. Sea-Doo needs to be playing in the safest position possible. If he overextends, it could be it. Burt blinks in to set up for the win. He's got the polymorph on Sea-Doo. Baron gets a double Ring of Frost. Perfect setup. Burt gets the pyro. Baron double blinks in, but where was the stun? Tuna wasn't there with the stun. They missed the most important ingredient, a stun.
Yeah, definitely going to be a little bit of a blunder there for Easy Money. That was such a beautiful setup, but Sea-Doo could still be in a little bit of trouble. Looking to line of sight, Astral Shift gets traded out, and now in Ghost Wolf, he manages to escape behind the pillar. Mez and Trill are going to make it difficult for Burt and Baron to really reconnect to their target. Mez gets polymorphed up. Baron and Burt once again looking for some damage. Who are these Greater Pyroblasts going to be cooking up on? It looks like Trill is the target of choice. So he gets chunked down a little bit, getting low. Baron, though, getting soloed in the meantime by Trill. Good counter pressure here from Method Orange. Sea-Doo is just playing so far away. He realizes that he is the main target as he's looking to cross the map once again. Burt looking for a Greater Pyroblast. What is he going to do? That last setup we saw onto Sea-Doo where we were saying they really needed that stun, that was exactly what you want to do. You Dragon's Breath up Sea-Doo, put him in a sheep, double Dragon's Breath on Trill and Mez, into the double Ring of Frost, and that way all three members are controlled. No one can shut down those Greater Pyroblasts, and that's their opportunity. But another huge setup onto Sea-Doo. Anti-Magic Zone looking to deny. Sea-Doo has to stay alive. Gladiator safeguard. Is he just going to die through Anti-Magic Zone? Sea-Doo's getting low, caught into the Dragon's Breath. Spirit Link Totem traded out. Big damage from Easy Money, but Baron in the meantime forced into his Ice Block. And in that last exchange, Method Orange basically traded out everything to survive.
I mean, that was an all or nothing exchange between both teams. Now playing on the ropes really here. It's going to be danger time for the next couple of setups. Burt looks to set up more Greater Pyros. Tuna gets a restyle stun. Double Pyro! Big pies! Big kill! Sea-Doo gets blown out in game number 1.
Oh my God. Something that you want. I remember even, you go back to land with Method Orange in the past too. It's like that first matchup can really just set up everything. They go against a composition that they weren't ready for in Jungle Cleave, and all of a sudden they find themselves in just a terrible place for that entire tournament. And all of a sudden now, you really do need to be thinking about seeding.
Yeah, and Ben is actually right here. They have gone for the triple orc play here on the side of Method Orange. So Sea-Doo is going to be in stance a little bit shorter.
Yeah, and I think it's a good choice if they are going after Sea-Doo. We'll have to see what exactly Easy Money does. As you kind of alluded to, Zico, all three members are vulnerable. Greater Pyroblast is one of the most powerful spells in the game. It does percentage-based damage, so it does the same amount of damage to everyone. Doesn't matter how much stamina or health they have. Big setup here onto Sea-Doo. Both combustions are committed, and Mez gets a really good value out of his anti-magic zone. Sea-Doo easily survives.
Yeah, good trade by Mez. Immediate reaction on his part. Now Burt being counter-pressured as Tuna tries to respond. Greater Pyro's being casted. Varen looks like he's likely to get his off. Looking for a second, not opting for it just yet. Trill gets bursted. He predicted the damage. Has that fortified elixir already rolling to reduce the damage. Sea-Doo gets caught into a polymorph. Could be trouble. Burt sets up with multiple polymorphs. Who are they going to go after? Do they have denial on this? Burt blinks out of range. They're going after Sea-Doo. Huge hit incoming. Tons of damage. Ducks around the corner. Manages to survive. Dragon's Breath at low health. Ring of Frost. Not able to land it. Sea-Doo able to escape for now.
Yeah, this is one of the problems with the Resto Shaman. Sea-Doo's just constantly low in this matchup. He's got no trinket. He's super vulnerable. We'll have to see what exactly can happen. Burt looking for a Ring of Frost. Sea-Doo barely dodging it. Now Burt blinking in, looking for a polymorph on Trill. Greater Pyroblast going to be channeled out. Who is it going to be on? And one of the sneaky things we see Fire Mages do is they actually have macros for Focus Greater Pyroblast. So it's difficult for Method Orange to tell who exactly they're going to be baking these pies on. Is it a focus cast? Is it a targeted cast? That's why all three members of Method Orange really have to be paying attention.
Good denial on that setup. That could have been the end of the game with no Gladiator's Medallion on Sea-Doo. But now that Method Orange have thwarted that assault, it's time to attack. Burt in trouble. Tuna with no Iron Bark. It's a race against the Temporal Shield. Who is going to break first? As Burt gets bursted, Temporal goes off, starts to recover. Method Orange looks like Trill wants to just push out, but there's multiple Greater Pyroblasts incoming. Baron free casting. See what they can do to disrupt this. Burt setting up with the double Frost Nova, maybe for Tuna to sneak away and regenerate some mana. Mez is trying to snipe that out and prevent it from happening. Baron blinks in, gets the Dragon's Breath Polymorph. This is where we see a double Ring of Frost on the DPS, but it whiffs. Burt isn't able to secure the crowd control. I love this Earth Elemental on Tuna, keeping him in combat and preventing him from using Prowl to get re-stealth stuns in that Feral Affinity. Good presence of mind from Sea-Doo to send that Elemental after him, removing that stun potential.
Trill had really good backup on Sea-Doo, though. He had his Transcendence on that box, so he was able to port back and slow down one of the greater Pyroblast, denying Varen. Now Burt in a little bit of trouble. Dragon's Breath's going to be used by Varen to try to assist Burt and survive. Greater Pyroblast now looking to be cast out, but Trill interrupts. One lands onto Trill, but it's not that big of a deal. And Mez, he's using Dark Simulacrum, so one of the spells he can steal is a Greater Pyroblast, looking to bake some pies of his own. And if that lands, it's going to be 35% damage to Burt or Varen, definitely contributing to the one-shot capability of Method Orange. If they can find it, Burt in some trouble, a lot of damage. Cauterized procs, I think it was off the back of a Pyroblast from Mez. Ring of Frost on Sea-Doo, that falls. Now, once again, Method Orange looking good to be pushing in and getting aggressive.
Mez is trying to steal the secret family recipe and dish out some greater pyros of his own. Will he be able to find it and win the game for his team? We are about to find out here shortly. Burt counter-aggressing, Trill on the run, ducking for cover with Sea-Doo at the box. Mez exposed in center field. Varen getting through one interrupt. Burt setting up. Could be a double G-Pie here attempted by Easy Money. Not able to secure it just yet. Polymorph from the Fist of Fury. Where's the denial? Mez prevents this Greater Pyroblast. Tuna moves in for a stun. Sea-Doo gets caught in a Polymorph. Setup looks good. Huge Meteor connects. Trill has to trade. Burt exchanges Temporal Shield. In the meantime, they set up on Sea-Doo in the backline as well. Easy Money trying to go for a two-pronged attack. Sea-Doo struggling to deal with it right now, managing to slowly but surely recover. Ring of Frost locking the team down. Ring of Peace denies the connect. Varen gets a Polymorph, unfortunately on diminishing return, but maybe it doesn't matter if it sets up for a Greater Pyro. Varen connects one onto Sea-Doo. Burt can't back him up. Burt's in trouble. I do believe the Cauterize is already proc, so he needs to be extra careful.
Yeah, definitely really scary, as you're right. Cauterize is already procced for Burt. One Greater Pyroblast being used by Varen. Gets grounded by Sea-Doo, so great job by Sea-Doo on that Restoration Shaman. He can use the Grounding Totem to redirect the Pyroblast into the ground, essentially completely nullifying the damage that happens. Now Sea-Doo into a Polymorph, double Dragon's Breath. Do they have the Ring of Frost? Trill and Sea-Doo caught in a Polymorph. What is Mez going to do? Asphyxiate on one Mage. Combustion gets used on Sea-Doo. He's in a little bit of trouble. Oh! Pyroblast going to connect. Could just fall. He's getting lower. Spirit Link Totem trades out at 1% health. Sea-Doo barely holds on. That was a 2-for-1 Bake Sale that Method Orange almost fell to.
Bake Sale here, now into dampening. Scary moment for Method Orange. Easy Money looking to knock the BlizzCon champions out of the competition. The spicy newcomers, can they cook up a victory is now the question. Burt under fire, needs to be careful. Trill and Mez leading the charge. Tuna denies. Mez sees Tuna as trying to escape and try and get a drink, but not able to find it. Burt now setting up with multiple Greater Pyros, gets stopped on the second one. Tuna moves in for a stun. Dragon's Breath on Sea-Doo. Good crowd control initiated by Easy Money here as they try to set up a swap. Trill needs to make sure that he responds appropriately. He's in a 3-on-1, but he's actually owning Burt. 3 against 1. Burt tries to set up on Sea-Doo with a surprise attack, making it look like he was going after Trill, but all along trying to go after Sea-Doo. Burt gets gripped back downstairs, caught in a stun. Trill now gets swapped too. Sea-Doo has to keep his eyes on every member of his team. Easy Money are unpredictable.
Definitely all over the place, and that's one of the great things about these Fire Mages is they can take anyone down with those Greater Pyroblasts. So all 3 members of Method Orange really have to be on their toes, making sure they're interrupting all the Greater Pyroblasts. It's not that huge a deal if one gets off, but if both mages are able to bake up some pies, it becomes very scary for your team. Varen once again looking for a Greater Pyroblast. Sea-Doo backs him up with the Wind Shear. Now Trill and Mez looking for pressure, but they're both caught into a Frost Nova. Trill Tiger's Lust. Mez uses the Wraith Walk. Now they're all over Burt. Still with an Ice Block though, Burt's going to be feeling relatively healthy. Beautiful Temporal Shield before the stun. He should be able to hold on. Varen has to back him up. Big pressure here from Method Orange, but Burt manages to hold on from Tuna's Iron Bark.
Double Ring of Frost. Sea-Doo locked in. No, gets gripped on it. Good denial by Mez. Nope, Sea-Doo still gets caught in the Polymorph. Are they going to set up on Sea-Doo? Tuna's moving in. Tuna's ready for this. Varen positions. Gets interrupted by Mez. Burt gets one off. But Tuna can't stun. He gets it late. Is that late stun going to be enough? Sea-Doo trades. He just wants to respect that situation and not go down. But now without his Gladiator's Medallion, he's exposed later on.
Yep, Sea-Doo, no Gladiator's Medallion, no Astral Shift. And guess what? Varen and Burt, double combustion available. Trill getting low. They have to crowd control Mez. Mez needs to make sure he holds onto his anti-magic zone. Trill definitely doesn't want to fall. Fortifying Brew and Diffuse Magic trade out. Trill 5 seconds left on the Touch of Karma, but still in a little bit of trouble. Sea-Doo trying to top him off so he can get aggressive once again. You don't want to be leaving Mez in midfield. Varen gets a greater Power Blast. Burt looking for one as well, but Mez shuts both of them down. Nicely done. Tuna potentially looking for a drink here. He isn't stealth. He can reset his mana. Things will be looking good for Easy Money. Method Orange, they have to try to find an opening. Burt getting low. Touch of Death. One Gladiator's Maledict. Burt could be in a lot of trouble right now. It looks like he will be able to hold on off the back of that Ring of Peace as Varen and Burt looking to set up on Sea-Doo. They get the Ring of Frost. Sea-Doo could be in a lot of trouble, but he realizes it. Now Sea-Doo in a polymorph. Burt and Varen trying to take down Sea-Doo. If he gets caught into a stun, this could be danger time.
Here it comes, double Greater Pyro, multiple meteors flying in. Mez saves the day. It needs to be enough defense to deny the kill. Another perfect combo by Easy Money gets deflected, and Method Orange have a significant mana advantage if they can hang on a little bit longer. And Sea-Doo's just panicking, drops a Spearling Totem. Bird's still under fire, needs to be careful. Temporal Shield seconds away from going off and healing him back into the fight. Manages to stay alive. Fortunately for Easy Money, they got the Spearling Totem. Now in dampening, Mez becomes a target as well. It's still anyone's game.
Definitely, but Tuna running out of tools and running out of mana. Burt looking for a greater Pyro Blast. Varen lands one as well. Mez getting low. He needs to hold on. He needs to get the Death Strike. If he can hold on to it and get the Death Strike off, he will be able to keep himself alive. Heal up quite a bit on that Death Knight. Sea-Doo panicking. He can't spend his mana fast enough. This is the problem with Restoration Charm. He's got full mana, but just doesn't have the heals to keep Mez alive. Trill now getting aggressive on the Burt, getting polymorphed up. Burt looking for a greater Power Blast. Do they have an interrupt? No, they don't. Burt lands one. Who's it on? Dragon's Rest sets up the team of Easy Money. Sea-Doo getting low, but
double.
Method Orange are going to be able to stabilize.
Oh, multiple Gliders, Maledicts, Burt on the run. The Cauterize is procced, Ice Block forced. The last line of defense for Burt is now out of the way. Both teams are vulnerable. Dampening isn't going anywhere but up. The healing is now significantly reduced at 27%. Who is going to fall first? If Easy Money can close out on a small map, move to match point, it's looking solid for them to just walk away with the rest of the series. Varen setting up with a greater Power Blast. Sea-Doo denies. Burt under pressure. Can Burt stay alive long enough for one more push? It's going to be off the back of Sea-Doo making a mistake. Sea-Doo has the answers to survive this hit. They should be able to stay aggressive. Gets counterspelled. Maybe an opportunity to attack. Burt gets denied on that greater Pyro Blast. Still down at half health. Sea-Doo in crowd control. Varen needs this polymorph. He's not able to get the polymorph. Sea-Doo grounding totems it. Now Burt in trouble.
Big trouble. Touch of Death committed by Trill. Burt getting low. Needs to use Temporal Shield. He's getting lower and lower. Could get taken down very easily. I don't think he has Cauterize left to work with. No Ice Block available. Tuna, no mana left. What is Easy Money going to do? Varen setting up for a greater Power Blast. Who's it on? It doesn't matter. Burt gets taken down. Method Orange, a few close calls in that matchup.
Deliver the blow. Make Sea-Doo die. Voila. The perfect pie. Easy Money looking to make their strategy work. Yet again, will they be able to take down Method Orange 2 times in this tournament?
All right, the newcomers, Easy Money, looking like they're cooking with honey here in game number 1. It's Tolvaron Arena. It's bright and sunny. Sea-Doo, are your eyes starting to get runny?
What?
I don't know. I tried to one-up Rich.
I was with you until that last one.
I had to improvise it, man.
I don't know about...
Rich wrote that down.
I like that. No, you did good, Sid.
All right. Sea-Doo in a polymorph. What are Burt and Varen going to be able to get done? Here's the double combustion. Sea-Doo could be in some trouble. Anti-Magic Zone, a really good trade for Mez, keeping Sea-Doo alive, and I like this. Method Orange, I feel like against this composition, sometimes they get in their own head. They need to play it calm, cool, and collected, make out efficient trades. On game number 1, we saw Sea-Doo trade out his Trinket, as well as the Astral Shift and Anti-Magic Zone. It just creates openings for Easy Money. They respond appropriately. I think they can definitely survive these one-shot attempts from Easy Money.
All right, Method Orange get through the Iron Bark, they get through the Temporal Shield. So now this big push could be a Cauterize Ice Block if they can stay on target. Let's see if they can. Tuna's in stealth. He's sneaking around the map. He's going to pounce on Sea-Doo. Varen, is he in position to get that Greater Pyro? One Greater Pyro in the sky. Burt wasn't able to get a follow-up. I don't think they've got enough damage to really pressure Sea-Doo too much here as he ducks around the corner. Now Trill and Mez need to start getting aggressive. They're 1 second away from that Temporal Shield. Burt buys the time with the double Dragon's Breath, setting up for some Greater Pyros, at least getting through some of the interrupts from the team of Method Orange. Now, you guys obviously have a lot more experience playing this composition than probably anyone in the game. How do you feel about using the combustions at the same time as opposed to splitting them up?
Well, I think the problem for Easy Money when they use the combustion at the same time is obviously Mez is getting really efficient trades with the anti-magic zone. So in this particular case, I think if they can get at least one greater power blast off, potentially, then they could be looking to split up their combustion and they'll have enough damage to take someone down. But that being said, if they do get the anti-magic zone out of the way, then these greater power blast attempts are going to be super effective onto Sea-Doo as he gets low. Astral Shift trades with Spirit Link Totem as well. Sea-Doo's really scared in that situation. And that's what I'm talking about. If they use double combustion, get anti-magic zone out of the way, then these next attempts with greater power blast become really scary for Method Orange.
All right, Varen and Bert's picking the big map and setting up big damage here against Method Orange, the reigning BlizzCon champions, against the newcomers, the new chefs in the kitchen, trying to cook up some victory. Sea-Doo able to escape to safety. Good disruption by Mez with that asphyxiate. Varen under fire. Bert trying to cycle up some huge damage while Varen is tanking them effectively. Bert getting multiple greater pyros. Trill in trouble. Touch of Karma redirects some of that greater pyro damage, but now without that Touch of Karma, Trill's gonna have to keep his eyes wide open.
Yep, definitely a little bit scary there for Trill. No Trinket, no Touch of Karma, and he is a potential opening for the team of Easy Money as eating a greater power blast, but he wants to recover behind the pillars. He is able to top off everyone. And now Method Orange in full retreat. And this is the advantage Easy Money has on this map. It's a huge, wide open space, which makes it difficult to shut down both of these fire mages. And now Bert and Varen both have their combustion available as well. So big one-shot potential available. Mez needs to make sure he's going to be able to have his Trinket, trade out anti-magic zone. Ring of Frost attempt there, but Mez able to shut it down. Polymorph comes in. Tuna looking like he wants to be in position. They get a stun. What are they going to do on Sea-Doo? There's a greater power blast being channeled out by Bert, but it gets completely shut down.
Did it?
No greater power blast. I think Sea-Doo should be able to survive off the back of that anti-magic zone. And once again, both combustions committed by Easy Money.
Yeah, Easy Money trying to go for a big blowout there, but Method Orange once again deny. Mana, though, is looking great for Tuna. Unlike on Dalaran Sewers, he's able to easily escape, get into stealth as he is right now. Jumping into the fight, stunning up Trill. Bert setting up some greater pyros, one in the sky. Looking for a second. This could be trouble. Two greater pyros onto Trill. Diffuse Magic denies the kill. Overlapped with that Gladiator Safeguard. I do like that Easy Money are attacking multiple targets, really trying to run Sea-Doo for a loop as far as predicting where their next big push is going to go.
What are they going to do? For Method Orange, it just seems really difficult on this map to really get anything going. Both Bert and Varen both have their ice blocks available. I think Trill, Sea-Doo, and Mez, they need to hold on to all their defensive cooldowns and eventually make an all-in push with triple Maledict onto either Varen or Bert. And in dampening, they can definitely push through some of those Restoration Druid defenses. Bert gets gripped into a leg sweep. Varen looking like he wants to get in position for a potential Dragon's Breath Sheep onto Sea-Doo. He actually sneaks in the Sheep. Now Varen cooking up a greater Pyro Blast. What is Sea-Doo going to do? Paralysis by Trill. And that's the thing about the Windwalker Death Knight is they have a lot of tools. Sea-Doo forced to Trinket. Bert gets a greater Pyro Blast. Sea-Doo getting low. Triple Dragon's Breath sets him up. Sea-Doo caught all alone. Is he going to be able to survive? He trades out his Trinket. And he's still so low. The Maledict's barely able to keep Sea-Doo alive there. Sea-Doo still has a Spirit Link Totem. He greeds it huge, able to hold on to it, but that was a really close call, and Method Orange traded out a lot to survive there.
Yep, Easy Money showing that they can definitely take it to Method Orange. Mez actually stealing a Polymorph, throwing that on Tuna. Could be an opportunity to force an Ice Block from Bert. They can't stay on target. Double Polymorphing up Mez and Trill at the same time. Sea-Doo doesn't have enough to spells to get both of them out of that chain, denying an Ice Block forced opportunity here from Method Orange. Dampening now kicking in, and it's going to pay favors to both sides as Death Strike becomes weaker, as well as the heal over time effects from the Restoration Druid. In the meantime, Easy Money, they set up a Polymorph. Tuna's trying to get a re-stealth. They don't stop him right in front of him. Sea-Doo gets stun locked. That's going to be an anti-magic zone. Once again, Combustions overlapped at the same time. This is why I was trying to say, like, do you think they should start splitting them up? Because it seems so efficient for Mez.
Yeah, definitely Mez is getting huge value. There's no question about that. It's just a matter of if Easy Money's just trying to bait out that anti-magic zone, but they may be able to just get it with one. Definitely something they could potentially experiment with, and then it's more difficult for Method Orange to really commit that major defensive cooldown. So maybe they need to spice it up a little bit, mix it up.
Piece.
Yeah, bring a piece. Up in the sky. Unfortunately, misplaced by Trill. I'm not sure if it actually interrupted anything there, but Bert getting bursted down, leg sweep. Big burst potential here for Method Orange. No touch of death, and Bert should be able to survive with the Temporal Shield, but this is a good situation for Method Orange to be in. They still have a lot of defensives to rotate through. Burt, no Temporal Shield. Tuna, no Iron Bark. Do they have the damage? Cedar trades out his Earthen Shield Totem to keep Mez and Trill aggressive, but now caught in midfield. Both Mez and Trill are very vulnerable.
All right, Mez has got his pet sent after Tuna. Tuna needs to find an opportunity to drink and regenerate mana so that they can push this into a deeper dampening play to potentially kill Mez. It will be so difficult for Mez to get back to the pillar if he's out in center field trying to push for ice blocks. Burt in position, gets one Greater Pyro, looking for a second. Nobody's interrupting them. 2 Greater Pyros, 3 Greater Pyro, 3 Greater Pyros. I guess Cedar's just gonna power heal through it. Big hit with multiple Maledics. Burt then blinks over and secures Polymorphs. That puts Mez behind and deeper into dampening. They bank an Icebound Fortitude right before the critical mass. This is setting up well for easy money to take down Mez.
Yeah, Burt blinks in aggressive though. Mez able to get some damage rolling, and now near the pillar, Method Orange is going to be feeling relatively safe. Burt getting gripped behind the pillar. He shimmers away using the Gladiator's Medallion to get out of the stun. Now there's an opening here for Method Orange. Burt has no trinket. If they can get a full leg sweep on him and commit a lot of damage with the Touch of Death, definitely an opportunity for them to get something rolling. There's the Iron Bark committed as well. So now Burt, no trinket, no Temporal Shield. Tuna, no Iron Bark. Great opportunity for Method Orange and Trill with that Touch of Death to bank the first ice block and potentially the only ice block Burt will have available. Maledic does come flying in. Burt does not want to mess around. All 3 Maledics committed there by Method Orange. Burt trades out the ice block. It's a fair trade. That was a really scary moment for easy money.
I want to see Burt just stay in this wizard corner. It's going to be a risky move to push in on him in that position because then Varen will free cast Greater Pyros and Burt will likely get them off as well. So you've got a choice as Method Orange. When do you make the push? Because you're going to have to fight in enemy territory in that far corner. They're going to need to make sure that they have a Spirit Link Totem or an anti-magic zone to exchange when they make that big push, and they're going to have to make the call perfectly so they have enough damage to overwhelm Burt and still enough defense to stay alive while they push forward into the midfield. Tuna takes advantage of this opportunity to just regenerate mana. It's going to all come down to one final push. Method Orange have multiple answers to exchange. They should be able to take it unless they throw. So let's see if Easy Money can put some pressure on here, force Method Orange to make a mistake.
Yeah, Burt gets gripped in behind the pillar. That's going to be a great opportunity for Method Orange to really start getting that momentum rolling in their favor. So Burt has to play behind Varen in.
There it is.
Gets gripped, asphyxiate. What damage do we see from Method Orange? Varen responds with the Dragon's Breath, looking for a Polymorph. Sidu shuts it down with a beautiful wind shear. Triple Dragon's Breath, Ring of Frost.
Double.
Looking for the Ring of Frost. The 8 going to be made there by Burt and Varen. Now Mez in a Polymorph. Trill has to shut down these Greater Pyroblasts.
Sidu!
One being cooked up by Burt. Big damage on Sidu. Anti-magic zone trades.
Split.
Sidu will be able to survive, but like you said, Sid, now Varen with the combustion, they have the double threat, and Mez with no anti-magic zone could be very vulnerable.
All right, Varen's going to have to hard carry here if they want to take down Sidu. Still, Method Orange need to make mistakes, I think. They are far ahead on cooldowns. They could definitely overwhelm Burt. Maybe they just kill him outright with tons of damage. Trill looking to close it out, just owning Burt. Burt on the run, but his health is ticking away. Is he going to be able to hold out? Tuna's healing is so reduced. Not enough.
He
Stole the recipe. Bakes a pie of his own.
And playing with fire gets Easy Money. They can win here, or Easy Money can bring it to a game 5.
I mean, Method Orange looks so strong on Tolvaron, which is much worse than Ashamane's Fall. If they're going to do it, I think they are going to do it now. They've definitely figured out Easy Money's composition. I think they're going to need to mix up their strategies a bit more. They've got Sidu out in the open. Varen moves in. Burt gets the Dragon's Breath. Varen gets one, but Trill's left open. He's going to deny Burt, but Sidu still gets Polymorph. Burt sets up for a double Ring of Frost. Greater Pyroblast in the sky gets gripped. Tuna's in position to pounce, stunning up Sidu. Greater Pyroblast connects from Burt. Huge combustion damage. Where's the anti-magic zone? They're holding out on it because they didn't go for the double combustion. Good presence of mind from Mez. Astral Shift exchange much better for that, and now Anti-Magic Zone can trade for Varen's. Method Orange making mid-game adaptations.
Yeah, I really like Sidu going over to the Orc as well. These rake stuns from Tuna, not going to be nearly as effective. Varen connects one Greater Power Blast. Trill redirects the damage on the Burt. Looking for a big push here. Trill could be a little bit vulnerable. One Maledic does connect. Second Greater Power Blast coming in. Trill gets stunned up. What is he going to do? Sidu in a good position here to back his team up. But you can see Burt or Varen moving in, gets the Dragon's Breath Sheath onto Sidu. Now Trill being a little bit vulnerable. He uses Transcendence to get away out of line of sight, and he should be completely fine.
Ooh, they tried to set up on Sidu. Burt's Greater Power Blast not finishing in time, and that could be the difference of Flames of Alacrity. Haste, 2 Power Blasts in the sky there may have forced a cooldown, but Not able to squeak it in time. Both DPS members in polymorphs. Varen and Burt pull back to set up pyros. Trill gets stunned up. Burt trying to kill him. Mez grips Burt away. Mind freezes Varen. Good denial on Mez's part here. Burt and Varen now looking at like they want to get aggressive. Varen leads the charge, gets Ring of Peace on the polymorph. Sidu then wins the blink. This is really good denial from Method Orange. Great coordination.
Yeah, they're working together like a well-oiled machine. Trill backing up Sidu, Sidu backing up Trill. Trill taking a little bit of burst damage from one greater power blast. Varen gets interrupted on the second. And this is what I'm talking about. You allow one to get off, not that big of a deal. You got to save most of your interrupts for the big setups that come in from easy money. One greater power blast can be healed through. Multiple in a stun is when it becomes very devastating, so that's what Method Orange has been looking to shut down, and they've been doing a good job. Varen blinks in, looking for a Dragon's Breath. Fortunately misses it. Sidu doing a good job just running around this pillar, and Ghost Wolf making it really difficult for easy money to get the setups that they really want.
This is looking better and better for Method Orange. Varen getting pressured. Tuna moves forward, relying on the Temporal Shield. Now able to recover. Burt and Varen both setting up greater power blast. Burt finishes his cast, now gets grounding totemed by Sidu. Burt goes for another, manages to get one, blinks back to make sure he can get the second. Trill now on the run, ducking out of line of sight, giving Sidu time to recover, then immediately charging back into the battle. Huge hit on Varen. That must have, wasn't even a stolen greater power. Varen's in so much trouble. If they manage to get any crowd control on Tuna, I love this Earth Elemental usage from Sidu throughout this entire day. That Earth Elemental that's punching Tuna the Druid, it's stopping him from using Prowl and getting into stealth and accessing stuns. And that Earth Elemental stays up for an extended period of time, so it removes any kill window opportunity. And that's like a very small thing, but it's definitely effective, and Sidu taking full advantage of it. Burt getting bursted down, but Varen in position to free cast, gets gripped in. Multiple pyros, Trill gets stunned. He preemptively Touch of Karma that incoming bash. Now he should be all right to survive. Maybe not. They're just going all in for a kill on Trill. He uses the Diffuse Magic, but there's multiple Maledicts. Tuna's moving in. If he can get a Cyclone. Oh, they're actually setting up on Sidu. Huge swap. Sidu trinkets, he trades, he stays alive, but how much longer? He's very low on health in midfield. Not where you want to be facing down two Fire Mages.
Yep, but Burt and Varen, their damage will run out, and Sidu doesn't panic in that situation. And this is what I'm talking about. Method Orange are getting a lot more comfortable with the incoming Fire Mage damage. Varen getting low. Ring of Peace used by Trill to deny Burt. But defensively, Method Orange, they're looking solid. They're not overlapping. Sidu holds on to the Spirit Link Totem. Mez, although that was scary for his team, holds on to the anti-magic zone. And I really am impressed with the gameplay from Method Orange in this particular matchup. They really stepped up compared to game number 1 and the previous series in this tournament.
Tuna trying to sit down for a drink and regenerate mana while Method Orange are playing defensive at the pillar. They don't want to overextend Trill right now, as he doesn't have many defensive cooldowns to save himself to a double greater pyro. So they send Mez to try and bait some damage, then immediately retreats back, denied the drink again. See if Tuna can manage to regenerate mana or not. Mez's Ghoul running across the battle to try and deny Tuna's re-stealth.
Yeah, Tuna was a fish out of water there as Burt summoned a refreshment table for him in order to regenerate some mana.
That's what you were so...
Yes. I mean, that was pretty good, right?
That was literally the best one ever, Sid.
Yeah.
All right,
Sid is just never happy with my puns. You know, I try to step up. And
I just want the best from you, okay?
That was not bad. Come on, man. Double Life Steam now
Literally
100
the
burst.
best one ever.
Double Life Steam on
Shot
Burt
it.
and Varen. Big burst damage here from Method Orange. Triple Dragon's Breath denies. Tuna still has his Iron Bark, so Method Orange is going to have to work through that if they want to actually land a kill.
Fish out of water.
Oh,
That's incredible.
Tuna moves in, but doesn't stun. They whiff the stun. They stun Sidu out of the... This is very uncoordinated from Easy Money, and they're looking like more of an easy bake oven.
An easy bake
That
oven.
one was terrible. The fish out of water was fantastic. You have no taste.
All right,
I'm not going to chime in here.
what is Varen going to do? Burt lands one greater Pyroblast. Good damage here onto Mez, but he gets recovered quite easily, and that's one of the things pre-dampening, or at this early stages of dampening, a Death Knight can heal himself up through a greater Power Blast. One lands, you use Death Strike, you get healed up for the majority of that damage, and you're going to be completely fine. So in order to take Mez down, you have to get overwhelming amounts of damage.
All right, Sidu caught in crowd control, but they don't get any setup off the double Ring of Frost. That's usually devastation for the double Fire Mage, but they don't manage to tee off. Tuna sitting down for a drink, and I believe he's going to regenerate back to full mana, which is very important right here as dampening kicks in. Both teams are evening out. Dark Simulacrum, what is Mez trying to steal? We're gonna have to wait and see if he managed to get anything potent there. They're going for a Maledict play onto Burt. They dispel that off quite easily. A little bit of an uncoordinated assault from Method Orange in terms of aggression. Maybe it doesn't matter. They could just overwhelm Burt. They're really looking to try and get Cauterize or block before we hit critical mass and dampening. Sea-Doo overextending to keep his team going. Now Burt and Varen trying to set up on him. Varen gets Ring of Peace on his Greater Pyroblast. Burt is being pressured away on his. Varen's trying to sneak across the map to get Sea-Doo in crowd control. Sea-Doo sees him coming, isn't able to duck around the corner fast enough. Dragon's Breath into Ring of Frost. This could be devastating. Varen sets up one Greater Pyroblast. Trill moves over to try and stall. He's now in a polymorph. Bash on Sea-Doo. It looks clean. 2 pies in the sky. Anti-magic zone. Is that going to be enough?
Yeah.
Looks like it's going to be, but they overlap with the Astral Shift. Fortunately, that was an all-in from Easy Money, so trading your all-out defensive lineup is more than enough, and now Method Orange get aggressive.
Yeah, and Sea-Doo still has his Trinket and Spear Link. That line of defense should keep Method Orange nice and healthy. Burt and Varen trading out quite a bit there. That was a beautiful setup, but with Mez trading out his anti-magic zone, he got huge value, a lot of damage reduction. Varen looking for a Pyroblast, manages to find one. No, it gets grounded by Sea-Doo. Varen now casting his 3rd Greater Pyroblast in a row. Who are they on? One lands on Mez, Death Strike lands. He gets topped off. Sea-Doo in the back line, throwing out some heals as well. They're just teeing off on Mez. They've kind of abandoned Trill. Trill's been doing a really good job rotating through his Diffuse Magic, his Touch of Karma, his Fortifying Brew, his Transcendence. Has a lot of defensive tools available, but as dampening gets higher and higher, I think Mez is going to be an increasingly vulnerable target.
Yep, Sea-Doo hunting down Tuna to deny him from re-stealthing. It's going to be really important to stall that out as much as possible. Burt trying to get a Greater Pyro, gets interrupted. Varen free casting in midfield. Nope, gets sheared by Sea-Doo. Good denial once again from Method Orange. Their play is looking clean here against Easy Money. Let's see if they can sneak in any power plays. They've got Sea-Doo in a polymorph. Burt tries to set up and support Varen. They're not able to find it. Paralysis, they go for another polymorph. They're still trying to squeak through here. Greater Pyroblast, they need to get this one. Sea-Doo actually uses the Glidier's Medallion very prematurely on that attack. He will survive for now, but opens himself up later on. Spearlink Totem gets traded out. Burt under fire with that Cauterize now triggered. Both teams running low on cooldowns. Dampening continues to rise.
Yeah, Sea-Doo traded out Trinket, Ascendance, and Spirit Link now into a polymorph. What is Burt gonna do? Easy connecting his damage. Trill doesn't mess around. He turns at the Touch of Karma. Burt very vulnerable here with no Cauterize. He still has the Ice Block, but it can be scary. He needs to make sure he gets that off in time. Trust me, I know. Method Orange looking for some damage still, but Polymorph spam is going to deny a lot of that. Burt getting all in here. Maledix, as he gets low, trades out the Ice Block, will survive, but now Easy Money, they're running out of time, and they're running out of defensive cooldowns.
All right, what are they going to do? Are they going to push in? Varen misses the Dragon's Breath. Sea-Doo was able to dodge it. Now they're not going to be able to set up crowd control. This is dire for Easy Money. Tuna sneaks across the battlefield. He's trying to set up the team. Ringer Frost hits one member. They need to get Trill in that, but they're not falling for it. They just go for an instant cast burst window. Mez denies the kill with the anti-magic zone. Maybe it's not enough at 28% dampening. We'll find out shortly. Burt under fire. Tuna Trin gets out to respond. Sea-Doo manages to escape. Burt and Varen in desperation just trying to stall out the game and maybe stay on target. A stolen polymorph might close out the game. Mez once again MVP. Burt in trouble. Temporal Shield seconds away from going off. Not gonna do it. Mez closes out on match point. Hard carry Mez.
Ultimately.
On larger maps though, such as Tolveron, we'll see how it works out for them this time around.
Yep, and for Super Frogs, this has been a composition they have been implementing and have had great success against Method Orange, really focusing on denying Trill mana rifts. So Wealthy Man with spammable Polymorph, Channels with spammable, or Channel with spammable Fear, has been able to really deny Trill, chasing down Cubsy. Cubsy consistently crossing the map, making it difficult for Trill to land the stuns into mana rifts, and that allows Super Frogs to preserve their mana for a really long time.
Trill is actually playing that rain from above here. As you can see, he is flying currently in the air, spitting out those fell lances for pretty high amounts of damage, and that's to avoid some of this crowd control that we were just discussing. And basically what you just said, Van, is Super Frogs, they're looking to Nova Trill, Polymorph Trill, Fear Trill currently, as you can see, just prevent him from playing the game as much as possible and drag on the game by preventing Trill from essentially doing anything, forcing Mez to run away, and that way Cubsy can sneak off, get those drinks, and then later on they can win. But now we see Chanimal get gripped in behind that pillar. He looks like he could be in a little bit of trouble, but Wealthy Man is deflecting, doing a great job landing out these polymorphs on Trill, and Chanimal is going to move back out to safety. Cubsy's mana as well looking good so far. No team really having a big advantage here.
I would agree with that for sure. Chanimal and Wealthy Man want to play in the midfield, and that's where Chanimal is going to be able to get the most backup from Wealthy Man. Wealthy Man, I'm curious to see what build he's running. Once again, he's going with the Lonely Winter, so it's difficult for Method Orange because the Frost Mage of Wealthy Man with this build is actually a huge threat. If he can build up Flurry procs, he's going to be able to do a ton of damage with Frostbolt, Flurry, Ice Lance. He's going to be able to do 25-30% of someone's health. And if you don't go on Wealthy Man, or if you do go on Wealthy Man and try to shut down those Frostbolts, then all of a sudden you have Chanimals able to free cast, or Chanimal able to free cast in. I think the reason why SuperFrog has been able to find so much success in this series, in this particular matchup so far, is because they have two big caster threats. Wealthy Man's spec adaptation definitely paying off huge for the SuperFrogs.
Yeah, that's a good thing to notice right there. Chanimal again being forced to go to that pillar, and I like that Method Orange are crossing the map, but I also like that Cubsy immediately switches side, and then you have basically Chanimal standing between Sea-Doo and his teammates as the pressure is on Wealthy Man. Mez and Trill gonna look to do a little split strategy here to force out some of those crowd controls to not be as effective. Chanimal gonna be taking a little bit of damage. Now Trill is gonna look to connect, immediately gets caught up in a fear, probably gonna be caught up in polymorphs very soon when those fears are over, and that's basically the entire game plan here. Later on in dampening though, the way SuperFrogs actually get those kills is by getting a crowd control onto Sea-Doo and onto Trill at the same time, and then going after Maz when dampening is going to affect some of those death strikes. Trill though doing a good job avoiding that crowd control by flying up in the air with that rain of above. I really like that adaptation that comes in from him to avoid a lot of these CC situations that he's being put in. As we see another Maledict push being thrown towards Chanimal. Cubsy's gonna choose to deflect that with the Iron Bark, not gonna go for that Dispel. Cubsy also has his Innervate available. He's gonna go ahead and activate that right now. Big Chaos Bolt onto Maz. Should be able to deflect that fairly easily with the Death Strikes. And now he's looking to reverse his pressure back onto Wealthy Man here.
Yep, and I think for Mez and Trill, the longer this game goes on, it becomes very difficult for Sea-Doo to actually heal them up. Resto Shaman don't have the most single target healing, but they have a lot of damage reduction with the Earthen Shield Totem, Wind Shear, Grounding. That's going to be very important for Sea-Doo, but as dampening gets higher, he loses a lot of the value, and all of a sudden a lot of the self-healing Mez has available through Death Strike is nullified as well, and that's when Wealthy Man and Chanimal are going to be able to put out tons of damage, lots of pressure, and we see in particular this game, Cubsy out-manning Sea-Doo once again. I'm kind of wondering why Method Orange decided to go with the same composition. We see some adaptations where Trill, like you said, playing the rain from above, is able to put out good consistent damage. Not even necessarily to avoid crowd control, it seems like he's just trying to put out as much damage as possible. I don't even know if he's playing Mana Rift because he hasn't gone for a single one on Cubsy. Maybe Method Orange is completely changing up the game plan against SuperFrogs.
Oh no, he's definitely playing the Mana Rift. But
have you seen any?
He whiffed one earlier actually, but he hasn't been able to really go for it as much either, because every time he overextends away from Sea-Doo's dispel range, then this happens. He gets caught up in the fear, and basically what SuperFrogs are doing is they're just looking to get Cubsy a drink like he is right now by forcing Method Orange to run back like that. Every time they do, Wealthy Man is also going to be able to activate his Frozen Orb, which he's playing Freezing Rain, which gives him a free Blizzard, 2 free Blizzards actually, every time he uses that Frozen Orb, basically making his Blizzard an instant cast. But now we do see a nice swap here onto Cubsy. How is he going to respond? Activates the Iron Bark, and there it is, a Mana Rift landing onto Cubsy. Shouldn't be too significant though. I do believe that he's going to be able to sneak away and drink. Chanimal being able to dish out quite a lot of pressure here at the back of that Mortal Coil. Nice Gnaw stun right there though from Mez. He's going to shut down the follow-up Chaos Bolt on that Mortal Coil. And now once again Method Orange looking to get behind that pillar. Wealthy Man though, every time they do this, activates his Frozen Orb, gets a Blizzard right there as well with the Freezing Rain, and now he's resetting his Frozen Orb cooldown. You can see it ticking down 2 seconds at a time or so, and that's because every time Blizzard does damage, that's what happens. It reduces the cooldown of the Frozen Orb for each member hit. So Wealthy Man, eventually, when dampening stacks up, this cleave damage that he's able to put out behind that pillar is really going to become very significant. And Cubsy, again, has full mana. He's just chilling in stealth right now, waiting for Method Orange to leave that pillar and to go and engage. Chanimal, though, not being able to do too much, going to just build up some of his soul shards on that path. Mez going to call that back.
Yeah, and here's one of the problems for me. Method Orange, if they were implementing this strategy, but they had Trill on Windwalker Monk, I could actually see them making an all-in push onto Chanimal with the Rising Sun Kick, Mortal Wounds, reducing healing by quite a bit. But with the Demon Hunter, I don't see them have that same sort of one-shot capability. And when they're hiding behind the pillar, they're not really able to get too much done. And like I said, I kind of doubt their ability to make a big push before Super Frogs can swat them away without that Windwalker Monk. So I'll have to see how exactly that happens, as we are at 12% dampening. Sea-Doo unlikely to be able to drink. With the Fell Hunter on him, Blizzard, Frozen Orb from Wealthy Man, they can easily shut that down, whereas Cubsy, look, he's been across the map. He's been able to sit down and drink as much as he wants. Chanimal gets gripped in. What is Cubsy going to do? Manage to keep him nice and healthy, and like we kind of said, without the Mortal Wounds, Chanimal, a lot of his self-healing, a lot of the Restoration Druid healing is going to be very significant.
Basically, what I want to see here from Method Orange is an all-in aggression push onto Chanimal. When dampening has stacked up a little bit higher, I really want to see them try to go in and snag that unending resolve. Right now, though, it's very difficult for them because every time they do so, Wealthy Man is there, acting like a goalkeeper. You can see he's very annoying for Trill to deal with, constantly putting him in Frost Nova, Polymorphs, and then now again, we're going to see a big setup here. Nice Chaos Nova from Trill. This could potentially be the unending resolve. Or at least the Iron Bark here from Cubsy. Cubsy choosing to hold on to it for a little bit. Trill, though, has his Metamorphosis active, doing tons and tons of damage. Not going to be able to find any significant cooldowns just yet, but Cubsy is starting to use some of that mana. Mez and Trill choosing to retreat, though, and Wealthy Man, again, is going to be resetting his Frozen Orb any moment here, as they actually grip Chanimal back towards that pillar. Cubsy, though, going to be able to deflect with that Thorns. Trill, again, in that Metamorphosis, trying to find some pressure. Wealthy Man going to be able to find the Polymorph, stopping Sea-Doo from drinking this time around. Wealthy Man is holding on to his Frozen Orb. I imagine he's going to be pressing it as soon as he comes out of the stun and activating the Blizzard to reset it, and there it is, Frozen Orb, Blizzard with the Freezing Rain. Chanimal finding a few Chaos Bolts. Trill dropping dangerously low there actually for a second. Might have to use a cooldown or two maybe. The Blur could be activated. Trill, though, looks like he's going to be fine, just sustaining himself with that Soul Leech.
Yep, definitely going to be able to stay alive. And what we've seen from Resto Shamans in the past, particularly Sea-Doo, because he's one of the only Restoration Shamans that's still playing it, is although you have a massive mana lead for Restoration Shaman, it's hard to spend that mana. Getting out the required healing you need to keep your team alive becomes very difficult, especially at this point in the game at 25% dampening. Think about this. This is Method Orange going up against Super Frogs. Super Frogs currently the #1 point earning team at 420. Method Orange currently in third at 300 points. Super Frogs has won 3 out of the 4 cups that have been available, looking to claim another one. Just complete dominance in North America. Method Orange, they need a really strong finish in this particular cup if they want to start advancing and potentially take that second seed away from the boys. Method Orange winning this blind pick would be huge, but I don't know if they manage to pick a comp that can actually take down what Super Frogs is bringing.
So this is what I don't like from what Method Orange are doing. They're basically just losing slowly by playing this way, and a lot of it is actually at the back of these Infernals now being forced back like that. They forced out the Iron Bark. I really want to see them all in here onto Chanimal. They need to stay on target here until they get that unending resolve, but Chanimal is making it very scary for them, landing a big Chaos Bolt there onto Sea-Doo. Method Orange are going to have to respect that cooldown, but on the next push, I want to see Super Frog stay in, push out the Bark Skin and the Iron Bark, sorry, from Cubsy, and then try to find that unending resolve, because that's going to be the big win for them. So far in the game, they haven't really been able to find too many cooldowns, and they're slowly rotting down to the pressure from Wealthy Man's Frozen Orb, from the pressure of these Infernals, and Cubsy's actually playing that Feral Affinity, finally revealing his hand there, going in for that Rake Stun onto Mez. Now Cubsy could potentially be a target that they can all in later on in the match as well, now that Method Orange knows this trait, this talent has been selected from Cubsy.
Yeah, just Method Orange, what is their game plan? I mean, at what point in dampening do they make a push? Chanimal gets gripped in. This could potentially be it. We're at 35% dampening. what can Method Orange get done, but I kind of talked about without Mortal Wounds, Chanimal's going to be feeling very healthy. They don't have the healing reduction with this composition. Mana Rift is normally the win condition for Method Orange, but Superfrog has just been denying it over and over. Cubsy 100% mana in this situation. Although he's playing Feral Affinity, I feel like for Cubsy, he's basically saying, I dare you to go after me. That's going to allow Wealthy Man to play aggressive, Chanimal to play aggressive, and you can see Superfrogs, they're not wasting their offensive cooldowns. Wealthy Man's been holding on to the Icy Veins, Chanimal holding on to the Dark Soul. So if Method Orange starts building up some pressure, they can easily counter pressure them with those offensive cooldowns and take them down.
And that's really what Superfrogs are doing a great job with. They're holding on to their offensive cooldowns for when Method Orange are going for this all-in push to guarantee them to run back. Well, and we do see a big push here onto Mez. Maledicts are flying in. Seedu's going to dispel that one. Nice Earthen Wall Totem, as well as his Spirit Walker's Grace going to give him that immunity to interrupts. But a beautiful Shadow Fury here from Chanimal. He's also going to set up Wealthy Man for the Blizzard. They have to go in here and try to activate some defensives here, get some pressure. And we see Chanimal activating that Dark Soul now, trying to reverse that pressure. Mez going to activate the Anti-Magic Zone, trying to stay alive here and counter that pressure. Cubsy still not used his Iron Bark just yet. Going to just be emptying out the mana bar that he has. And Mez once again forced to retreat here, Van.
Yeah, this is not looking good for Method Orange. They haven't been able to really accomplish anything in this match. This composition was not a good pick from them. Superfrogs just domination from start to finish. All three members rotting down. I don't know if they're going to be able to pick a moment. Chanimal still has his unending resolve. This could potentially be a triple kill here for the Superfrogs, but they have to hold on. Anything can happen at this point in the game. Chanimal getting a little low. Cubsy looking to redirect some or reflect some of that damage with the Iron Bark to keep him alive. But Mez getting low. I don't know if Seedu has the healing to keep him alive. I think ultimately Superfrogs will claim game number one. Unless by some miracle, Mez can still hold on, managing to get out of line of sight. Cubsy throwing in some Solar Wraths, and you can see how comfortable Superfrogs is in this matchup. Cubsy just playing on top of Method Orange, throwing in Solar Wraths, just trying to put the final nail in the coffin, but Method Orange has been doing a good job holding on.
And this is where Chanimal can't get overzealous. If he pushes in too deep, remember, he has no mobility. That is the main weakness here of that Destruction Warlock. He needs to keep his composure. Wealthy Man is the player who can go aggressive with those blinks, as we see him blink in forward. Yes, Wealthy Man, great trinket right there. He's going to drop that Blizzard. He's going to drop the Frozen Orb as well in about 10 seconds when that is ready. As Mez is taking huge chunks of damage here, potentially could go down. Seedu, how are you going to stabilize him?
Yeah, Inferno's just cleaving down all three members of Method Orange. Seedu gets interrupted. Method Orange push in to close out the game, and Mez falls. Method Orange, they need another answer. If they lock that in again, it is suicide.
All of a sudden, they start picking up steam, and they look fantastic. It's been a while since we've really looked at Trill's Monk. Obviously, we have seen it here or there, but that wasn't the focus. It was all around that Demon Hunter, and it took off for them. They were able to fly with that composition, but slowly, we see the likes of Colo trying to find ways to beat that composition. We see teams in Europe find ways to beat the composition. Superfrogs now have another answer, and they are trying to find match point.
Yeah, and I think objectively speaking for Seedu, the Mistweaver Monk is probably his second best healer overall. And obviously Resto Shaman being the number one, but very well practiced. We were actually playing with him yesterday. So he was trying to prepare Mistweaver Monk for this tournament. Superfrogs with this composition though are going to be able to really punish him, especially playing Way of the Crane. If he pushes in, then Chanimal can land a Fear, Wealthy Man can land a Polymorph. They're going to be able to deny a lot of that aggressive play. What I want to see from Method Orange is punish Wealthy Man's Frozen Orb and Blizzard positioning. So if Trill and Mez push in, and Wealthy Man decides to drop out a Frozen Orb or Blizzard to try to counter pressure, that's when Seedu can comfortably use the Way of the Crane, move on top of that Blizzard or Frozen Orb positioning. Then all of a sudden there's no threat of being polymorphed because it will just break to the Blizzard or Frozen Orb damage, and that's what I want to see from Method Orange.
Method Orange gripping Wealthy Man into their clutches downstairs. Cubsy repositions and immediately is able to recover. Method Orange are playing it for the slow and steady game. Just avoid the spellcasters as long as possible, then go for big wave pushes on what I would expect is the Warlock deeper into dampening. Now, the Superfrogs can utilize Snuts later in the series on Shadow Priest if that situation occurs where the Warlock just becomes a liability deeper into dampening. It's too difficult for Chanimal to get pressure out with those hard-casted Chaos Bolts, too easy to avoid. The Shadow Priest would be a much better utilized specialization in this particular matchup, and everything could come down to the blind pick. If the Super Frogs can utilize the Shadow Priest on the big maps and swing it back and forth to a game 5, then they're going to walk away with the series. Method Orange really want to avoid a 3rd place or a 4th place finish in terms of point standings. Definitely want to get a 2nd place or a 1st place, because if you can do that, you will then dodge Method Black from Europe. You'll dodge Wildcard Gaming in the initial round, which is, I won't say 100%, but pretty likely guarantee that you'll be sent down to the lower bracket very fast. So there's a lot on the line for Method Orange here. If they can manage to pull off a victory, advance further on, eliminate the boys, pass them as their next line of competition in terms of points, get a 2nd place finish to qualify to that LAN, their seeding will be upgraded phenomenally.
Ooh, nice ring of peace there by Trill, pinning Wealthy Man against the wall. Really high level play there. If you can get a target perfectly lined up with a wall like that, he actually doesn't go left or right. He just gets stuck up against the wall over and over. And if you can position it right, that's a great opportunity for you to put some damage out onto a particular target. And I think Method Orange doing that strategy a little bit later on when dampening's higher, it's going to be difficult for Wealthy Man to recover. So look for them to do that. And they can do the same thing to Chanimal. If they grip Chanimal out of line of sight, and he gets pinned up against the wall, it's going to be difficult for him to get out those fears that he really needs, with the Shadow Fury that he really needs in order to survive. So I think if Method Orange can execute that, it's definitely going to help them win this game.
Method and Orange staying on the outskirts of Dalaran sewers. They actually catch Sea-Doo in a bit of a swap. Big Chaos Bolt flies in. Anti-magic zone exchanged for no cooldowns committed by the Super Frogs. Method Orange need to be careful. They can't afford to be caught like that again. Sea-Doo fake casting the incoming spell lock. Needs to be careful because there's 2 of them. Mez and Trill trying to march forward for a death grip. There's the counter spell secured by Wealthy Man. This could be dangerous potentially. Frozen Orb. Chanimal too far out of position really to capitalize on any of the plays that Wealthy Man was able to engage on. I'm curious to see if Chanimal repositions his demonic gateway so that a team member has an escape. Ring of Peace bounces Wealthy Man off the side, but he's able to immediately blink. Now gripped and stunned downstairs. Cubsy jumps in, needs to save him. Will it be enough? Do they even need to Iron Park? It doesn't look like it. Wealthy Man's just going to blink to safety. Blizzard Mez hold him out in the open. The difficult part about this for Method Orange is that deeper into dampening, Mez doesn't have the same ability as the 2 monks on his team, so he'll be left behind, and without Death Strike being super potent that deep into dampening, he is likely to go down. So Method Orange eventually need to start coordinating their assaults. Obviously, they would like a little bit of dampening in their favor as well to try and push Chanimal over. We see Chanimal reposition the Demonic Gateway. I'm curious if Method Orange are going to rotate around the outskirt of the map to try and avoid it, or if they're just going to play at these boxes. Seems difficult for the Super Frogs to really get anything going. Wealthy Man gets Ring of Peace off the side. He blinks, but he blinks into enemy territory. Now has to double blink. I'm very surprised to not see Method Orange just run Wealthy Man down after double blinking. They grip him downstairs. Good position to burst him down. Wealthy Man knows that he's overcommitted, so he activates Temporal Shield before anything even starts to hit him as soon as he's in a bad position. Chanimal setting up for Chaos Bolts. Sea-Doo pre-Life Cocoons. That was a very preemptive move. No cooldowns committed by the Super Frogs. Method Orange continue to run away, looking for a deep dampening push. Cubsy catches Mez. Ray of Frost, Chaos Bolt combo. A lot of damage for Mez. Bursted down, but immediately healed back up by Sea-Doo.
Yep, and Method Orange will be able to survive. So far, Method Orange, they've been playing very non-committal. They're gripping in Wealthy Man, getting stuns on him, but never really committing to pushing him over, forcing out more than just a Temporal Shield. And I can tell by Trill's talents, he is playing the Tiger Eye Brew specialization. He just wants to build that up, get it to 20 stacks, and that will give him 2 10-second windows where he can push in and get super aggressive on Chanimal. And if they can do that, especially later on in dampening, they can easily run him down. Wealthy Man getting bursted down just a little bit. I like what Method Orange is doing. They're making sure to at least punish Wealthy Man a little bit when he's making these aggressive pushes, but with the way Method Orange is playing, I think it's really unlikely that they end up taking Wealthy Man down. More than likely, we're going 30-40% dampening. Then that is when Trill, Mez, and Sea-Doo will be making offensive pushes, just trying to run Chanimal over, take him down through everything he has.
All right, Cubsy is running a really just a standard defensive build on his Restoration Druid. No Feral Affinity shenanigans, focusing on haste and mastery. No surprises. Nourish as the honor talent of choice here when playing with 2 spellcasters, as the team of Method Orange don't have enough interrupts to deny 3 players from casting important spells, so Nourish is of high importance in this specific matchup. I do like that he's mixed in 1 Lively Spirit onto his Azerite traits to gain back some extra mana during Innervate, as mana is the name of the game currently in this meta. 1 triple Grove Tending, Rampant Growth for an extra heal over time effect. Cubsy's maximizing his gear for the most health per second, which is exactly what he needs when facing down a melee Cleave. Chanimal finally starting to get in there, dropping some Infernals, trying to burst Sea-Doo down. Sea-Doo makes an exchange with that Fortified Elixir and Life Cocoon. Mez, though, gets left behind, and see how devastating that was at 15% dampening. That happens again, another 15% more dampening, and even though Super Frogs do not have the map advantage, I think compositionally they still might outdo Method Orange.
I just don't know. I feel like Method Orange, when they do decide to finally push in and commit everything, Chanimal is going to have a really difficult time counter-pressuring, especially now that the Infernals are on a 3-minute timer. What I want to see from Mez and Trill, actually grip in Chanimal, beautifully done. Ring of Peace plus a Death Grip, knock Chanimal off the side, but Cubsy in a great position to back him up. Wealthy Man as well. Sea-Doo tries to slow down some crowd control from Wealthy Man with his paralysis, does manage to do so, but it looks like now that 20% dampening, Method Orange is going to be looking to get aggressive here on the Chanimal. Ironbark going to be basically held for now from Cubsy, but Chanimal getting low. He gets interrupted. Could just easily get taken down. Do they have the damage? Ironbark and Unending Resolve. Everything forced out. Trill still has the touch of death. Method Orange in a great position to close out this game.
Mez getting counter-pressured. Sea-Doo tries to rush in and save the day with 3 members now attacking Chanimal and no defense for some time. The defense could finally be cracked. They may be able to finally push through. They need to crowd control Cubsy. Deny his heals. He's getting too many Nourishes off in the back line. They grip Chanimal out of line of sight. Cubsy tries to reposition. Sea-Doo intercepts. Chanimal still low on health, but Wealthy Man is taking control of Sea-Doo, which means Mez could be vulnerable. They're still trying to control Cubsy and go for the kill. A risky exchange, but they've got multiple defensives to make this risky push. They need to continue to continue to interrupt Cubsy. He's getting far too many Nourish casts off. These Nourishes are stabilizing Chanimal. Mez now has to exchange Icebound Fortitude, a precious defensive cooldown on the Death Knight lineup. Both teams in trouble as dampening continues to ramp.
Definitely, but Chanimal with no Unending Resolve for another 3 minutes. Another beautiful attempt here by Method Orange. Mez grips Cubsy in, double leg sweep committed. Cubsy getting a little bit low, and his mana isn't great. He's been throwing out a lot of Nourishes like you kind of talked about. He's almost completely tapped on mana, whereas Sea-Doo, he's doing great. Method Orange playing into their win condition beautifully. Chanimal still getting low. Paralysis on Cubsy, Ring of Peace out of line of sight of Chanimal as Mez is still ripping in. 1 Gladiator's Maledict connects though from Chanimal as they're looking to counter pressure Mez. Asphyxiate stun on Cubsy. The crowd control isn't over. And Super Frogs, they have to hold on.
Chanimal and Mez both in danger, but Mez has cooldowns to exchange and Chanimal doesn't. The damage is starting to overwhelm the Super Frogs deep into dampening. Cubsy's got a couple of seconds with free healing, having activated that Innervate, but even still may not be able to Chanimal. Chanimal gets knocked off the side. Cubsy has to reposition once again. He's losing healing time. Will Chanimal fall 10 seconds away from that Ironbark if they can hold out a tad bit longer? Full polymorph secured on the Sea-Doo, an opportunity for the Super Frogs to battle back. Mez respects that. Actually, they switched to Sea-Doo, trying to catch him overextended in midfield. He trades out and survives, retreating back to the pillar. Defense now available for Cubsy. Mana, though, not looking too great. Way of the Crane gets popped. Sea-Doo's ready to close this. Crowd control on the Cubsy. Ironbark needs to be enough, but will it at 33% dampening? Ring of Peace interrupts polymorph. Mez follows it up with a Mind Freeze. Can they keep denying the crowd control long enough to put Chanimal down? Sea-Doo gets veered away. Trill gets polyed on his touch of death. This is a big push for Trill. He really wants to get a kill in this timing. Will they be able to find it? If they don't, Chanimal is going to have that Unending Resolve in just a few seconds. Mez is now the one falling behind.
Yep, Mez grips Chanimal out of line of sight. Wealthy Man with a fully channeled Ray of Frost gets Mez low. What is Sea-Doo going to do? Life Cocoon in 2 seconds. To keep Mez alive. 1 Chaos Bolt lands. Mez does survive off the back of that Life Cocoon from Sea-Doo, but Wealthy Man with the Icy Veins is going to have a huge offensive push here shortly. Right now, Method Orange, they've lost a lot of the pressure on Chanimal. Super Frogs has been doing a great job to deny, but look at Cubsy. He's out of mana. Sea-Doo's still healthy, over 60% mana, and I gotta say, Sea-Doo's mana management in this matchup so far has been impeccable.
Infernals, Icy Veins available. How are you going to survive, Method Orange? Super Frogs look to put them on match point on their best map and the comp advantage, or a comp advantage you would expect. Chanimal has survived long enough to get Unending Resolve. Will he activate it and go for the kill? He does! Aggressive Unending Resolve. Way of the Crane should deny it. Is it going to? Mez is still low. Double ring of peace. Chanimal pinned downstairs, out of line of sight. Cubsy tries to move over in desperation, but there's nothing standing between the kill right now. Cubsy's got 0 mana left in the tank, and Method Orange are going to tie this up 1-1, but having won the blind pick means that
Game 5, you get to pick the map, you get to pick your composition after seeing the other team's comp. It's a very important thing. Game 3 has the stakes a little bit higher. Whoever takes this one will be on match point.
All right, here we go. This is an elimination, best of 5. We're all tied up here, and the Super Frogs may have locked in a composition that could lose them their swing match advantage. We're going to have to see exactly how it plays out. I will say that them playing this Warlock Rogue Restoration Druid is at a top level. I would say the best arguably in the world right now. So even though they are at a disadvantage, if a team could overcome that disadvantage, it would certainly be Chanimal, Snuts, and Cubsy. Chanimal setting up for some huge burst here, ramping up with that Rain of Fire, rolling his Grimoire of Supremacy. Mez says, all right, I know that that is a scary moment in the game, so I'm going to try and run away, but he gets caught. Chanimal moves in. Chaos Bolt gets casted. Mind Frozen. Good denial by Mez. How much more can he deny it? Chanimal still ramping, holding onto the Dark Soul, not going for it just yet, looking to split those cooldowns up. Similarly to what we've seen from the move, it does appear to be of importance to split up your Dark Soul, your Infernal, and your Vendetta into 3 separate windows to find a kill, to make your opponents overextend their defensive lineup and then get a kill with one of those 3 options later on. Here's a blind play by Snuts. Not even getting a Gladiator's Medallion from Sidu. Interesting that they're attacking Mez. Trill expected the attack to be on him. He preemptively fortified Elixir. I'm very surprised to see them target Mez so much. Maybe they're just looking for some 2-pronged attacks. Trill is likely to be the main priority before dampening. We do see Trill being overly cautious, and the reason for that is so that Sidu can comfortably sit through an extended crowd control chain, but Chanimal keeps it going with a spell lock. Mez gets bursted down. This is the most pressure we've really seen put on a Death Knight. I mean, Chanimal sniped Valido earlier in the day. There is potential for that. Snuts now gets gripped and overextended. Cubsy jumps in to save. Looks like it will be enough for him to survive. Now with Thorns activated, Mez and Trill have to make a decision. Do we attack into Thorns or do we just chill for a bit? And it looks like they're going to switch targets, which is also a great solution to that Thorns.
Yeah, and Trill has actually opted to drop out of that Tiger Eye Brew, which I think is one of the most important talents in this particular matchup. So that says to me, Method Orange, they're going to be looking to pressure down Snuts a lot in this matchup. Now, Sidu into a kidney shot. What is Chanimal going to be able to get done? Not too much. Sidu is out of line of sight. Sidu, though, activating his Fortifying Brew, as well as the Way of the Crane, looking to make a push. Trill getting low. What is he going to do? Chanimal looking for a Chaos Bolt, manages to find it, but Trill is able to survive. Way of the Crane will heal everyone up. Trill a little bit vulnerable, but a big offensive push here onto Chanimal. Has to trade out his Unending Resolve. Now the kitty shot on Trill and Fear on Sidu. Method Orange, they're going to have to be very careful.
I mean, Trill looks like he's going all in. He's got Touch of Karma. I'm surprised to not even see the Touch of Death. He had a window here where Ironbark isn't available. I'm very surprised to not see the Touch of Death and push during that window of time. They grip Cubsy in. They stun him. It's looking good for Method Orange to maybe close this out early on, which would be unexpected. Cubsy also getting cleaved down a tad bit. Anti-magic zone is allowing Mez and Trill to stay aggressive. It answers the Dark Soul. Chanimal's trying to move out of the defense of that shield, so if Trill overextends to hit him, he loses the defense of that barrier. Trill says, okay, time to abandon that push. Attack Snuts at the pillar with Sidu. Wait for the next Way of the Crane. If they can manage to bait out an Ironbark and then push with Way of the Crane, they could kill Chanimal within the next minute.
Yep, definitely. Chanimal with really great positioning with Cubsy, but Snuts might be getting a little over-aggressive in this matchup. It is his job, though, to push in and making sure that Method Orange is still spending mana. Sidu right now is behind in terms of mana over Cubsy. Trill and Mez looking for pressure on a Chanimal as he got gripped into around the pillar, and that is not exactly the position you want to be in. Abomination gets used by Mez as he's looking to put out huge pressure on Chanimal. And keep in mind, Chanimal with no Unending Resolve is going to be very vulnerable. Trill held onto his Touch of Death as well, now with no Ironbark, as well as no Unending Resolve. Method Orange have a huge offensive push. If Sidu can get an effective Way of the Crane, they might be able to push Chanimal over the edge.
Oh no, but they're getting clotheslined right at the finish line. Trill gets bursted. He could go down 3 seconds away. Sidu trinkets, denies the kill. I would love to see just Method Orange go all out here. Sidu's on Fear Diminishing Return. Press the way of the crane and crush Chanimal. You've got 30 seconds to do it. You've got all of these aggressive cooldowns that boost your damage up. They need to do it. This is a huge missed opportunity. 24 seconds now away. They have all the crowd control available. They have all the damage available. What are they waiting for? They go for the stun. They need to way of the crane. Why is Sea-Doo running away? This is still 14 seconds away from it. They go for the touch of death, but they don't push for the kill. Now Sea-Doo is off diminishing return. His trinket is not lined up with blind. Blind is now a huge win condition for the Super Frogs, and that was an opportunity lost.
Yeah, definitely, but Sea-Doo with no trinket available could have been a little bit scared, especially with Infernal Stun. If he got Kidney Shot into an Infernal Stun and no Anti-Magic Zone, it could have been devastating. Snuts in a little bit of trouble, though. Has to trade out the evasion. He does have the Vendetta, who is a good opening for him. Mez, of course, for the Anti-Magic Zone, will be able to deny a lot of that damage. Still seems like Trill is the main focus point for Super Frogs in this matchup as we enter Dampening, now at 2%. Cubsy once again has been able to sneak away, get drinks, completely reset his mana. Sea-Doo not doing too bad though, still around 50%. That Orange have been finding really good pressure, keeping Chanimals relatively low. Now Chanimal with the Dark Soul, what is he going to be able to get done?
Chanimal gets stunned on it. Snuts makes a swap, looking to take Sea-Doo out. Anti-Magic Zone will protect during this critical moment in the match, but Mez and Trill can't benefit from it. It's too far away. Trill tries to by pulling back, but then Sea-Doo moved in while Trill was running away. It seems to be a bit of a miscommunication. Sea-Doo's Way of the Crane not getting too much value here as he's getting completely denied by Chanimal. Way of the Crane will now be fading. Definitely not a high value push for Method Orange.
Definitely not getting too much done right there. Chanimal with the Unending Resolve is going to be feeling relatively safe, but like we kind of saw from Method Orange in the last game, if they can make one good offensive push, they can get through every single defensive cooldown Super Frogs has available. In the last game, it took around 30% dampening for that to start happening, and some of the self-healing that the Destruction Warlock has available gets limited. That's when it becomes really scary as a Destruction Warlock to play against a Windwalker Death Knight, especially when they have defensive cooldowns to trade out for an all-in.
Trill under fire. Sea-Doo almost tapped on mana, and even though we said that Method Orange's composition was favored, Super Frogs are playing the matchup out immaculately as Trill falls behind, tries to portal away. That Maledict gets diffused off. Still fairly low on health, managing to recover. Snuts is now going after Sea-Doo. Sea-Doo rolls in. He's only got a couple more Way of the Cranes left in the tank to make a push, and there's not really any clear openings as far as a target. Sea-Doo now Mortal Coiled into a Kidney Shot. Perfect play by Super Frogs as they look to try and take down Sea-Doo. Bash to follow up. Fire Safeguard and Life Cocoon saves Sea-Doo, but now Life Cocoon isn't available for his team. He still needs to heal himself and his teammates back to full. There's likely a Spell Lock available here for Chanimal. If he can nail this Spell Lock on Sea-Doo, Way of the Crane to try and avoid it. Chanimal needs to get control of this Way of the Crane. He Unending Resolves at full health. I actually don't mind this. It trades for the Way of the Crane and the Touch of Death. It's a 2-for-1 exchange. But now he won't have access to that defense later on. Sea-Doo still has enough mana in the tank for one more Way of the Crane. If Super Frogs can survive that last Way of the Crane, I think they're going to take it.
I mean, it was a 2-for-1 exchange, but at the same time, Cubsy committed his Iron Bark, and now there's no defense left for Super Frogs. If Trill and Mez can stay on target, Chanimal could be in a little bit of trouble. Infernals drop out, though. They're trying to get aggressive, get some counter pressure rolling. Trill in a little trouble. Chaos Bolt looking to land, gets Nos done by Mez. Nicely done, denying Chanimal's damage as he's trying to get behind the pillar. All three members of Method Orange are line of sighting right now, and that's not what you want as a Destruction Warlock. Chanimal with a beautiful Shadow Fury, looking to find some damage. Mez once again gets really big value out of that Anti-Magic Zone, not only trading with Snuts' Vendetta, but also the tail end of that Dark Soul from Chanimal.
I feel like time and time again, Sea-Doo's team is like just on the near-death experience of a triple kill and then somehow manages to hold on and then reverse it. This is looking to be like one of those situations. Smoke Bomb gets dropped. Trill in trouble. 1 second left on the stun. Touch of Karma exchange there. Does Sea-Doo have the mana to Way of the Crane? They need it for a push. If they can manage to get an Iron Bark here and then go for Way of the Crane, they can get a kill. I just don't think Sea-Doo has the mana left to do it. Snuts is ripping in. They do grip Cubsy into the fight, but no stun. Paralysis. They need a stun. Sea-Doo moves over. He gets the leg sweep. But Mez and Trill get Mortal Coiled away. Sea-Doo then feared off that. Mez gets bursted. Dampening is ramping up. He's going to become a liability later into the fight. Chanimal still with limited defense. They get the Iron Bark, but it was on the Way of the Crane. This Iron Bark needs to be enough. Will it? 24% dampening. Chanimal's getting overwhelmed. Snuts is getting pressured as well. 2 members low. Cubsy has mana, and Sea-Doo doesn't. That may be the #1 factor for the Super Frogs to find victory here on Ashamains. Chanimal stun locked up, and it's going to be a race to the finish.
Uh-oh. Touch of Death gets committed by Trill. They can take down Chanimal. Here's the stun. What are they going to do? Method Orange, can they hold on? Trill's getting lower. Are they going to be able to take him down? Beautiful Shadow Step kick by Snuts, and he ends up taking down Trill. Nicely done by the Soup.
Still has quite a bit of Destiny juice in their hands that they can fling across the arena.
Destiny juice?
Yeah.
What is that? I kind of want some.
The Rich Campbell Destiny juice line? You coming out with some merch, Rich?
Super Frogs right now going to be leading in this series 2-1. If they're able to take this, they will be able to make it to Sunday and send Method Orange home where they already are.
Yep, this is definitely a series where there's a lot on the line. It could be potentially the last game of the day. Definitely the last series of the day. What is Super Frogs going to be able to do? Although this is Method Orange compositional pick as well as map pick, I still feel like the Super Frogs, this isn't too bad for them. We did see Chanimal be taken down off the back of 2 beautiful Ring of Pieces in the last game of Dalaran Sewers when these 2 teams met with these comps, and I think if Chanimal can avoid a situation like that, then Cubsy might be able to keep him alive. I also think on this map, Cubsy is going to be able to maintain his mana much better, which was a huge win condition for Method Orange, and inevitably why Super Frogs fell in Dalaran.
All right, Method Orange employing that defensive strategy, looking for a late game kill to overwhelm Chanimal. When employing this strategy, Sidhu needs to maximize his mana efficiency so that he has basically as much as possible in dampening, so he gets as many Way of the Cranes as he can deeper into dampening. They have been getting good setups on Wealthy Man, gripping him at the pillar and punishing him when he overextends. In this exchange, have managed to overlap Temporal Shield and Iron Bark. That is an opening in terms of defensive cooldowns for Method Orange to potentially exploit. We may see a touch of death push from Trill to try and get an early ice block with this opportunity.
Yeah, we'll see if they can get it, but so far we've seen Method Orange, although making attempts on Wealthy Man, they're really not committing. You can tell by the talent choices and the strategy Method Orange is implementing. They're most likely going to be going after Chanimal.
Chanimal isn't running Mortal Coil anymore. He's running the Demonic Circle. That's interesting. He realized he was getting overwhelmed with Death Grip stuns, and instead of Mortal Coiling the enemies away, he's going to be able to portal to safety. I'm curious to see if that one change is enough for the Destruction Warlock that was waddling around before to be able to escape and get a kill.
Mortal Coil is actually on the same diminishing return as the Polymorph, so it's probably because Wealthy Man is going to be spamming out those Polymorphs anyway. Casting Circle could allow him to get a couple of fears out when he gets all in by Method Orange, so could potentially be a nice adaptation here.
Yeah, and I think the extra mobility that Chanimal has now with that portal is going to be huge, because like we kind of talked about, Chanimal getting gripped in and pinned down with the Ring of Pieces is one of the reasons why they lost, and now on this bigger map, he's going to have that extra mobility with the demonic portal, and he's going to be able to escape to safety. I think it was beautifully done by Super. This is something you don't normally see from a Destruction Warlock. I think it could pay off huge.
Let's see if it does. I'm wondering how Method Orange are going to overcome that. They can't just simply Death Grip Chanimal in. He can Demonic Circle out and escape. And then once he's escaped, himself and Wealthy Man will free cast, and Method Orange will have to compromise their positioning. Just one talent change from the Super Frogs may take what was an unfavored matchup into a favorable one, and we will have to wait to find out, as Method Orange are turtle all day basically at this point. You can't really blame them with the melee cleave composition. If they overextend into the Frost Mage, they're just going to get stuck in midfield, which would not be a great position for them to be in. Grip stun. I think they've got Chanimal on the same side as his Demonic Circle. He can't immediately escape. Chanimal needs to be careful so that doesn't happen later in the match. Doesn't seem necessary for him to Demonic Circle right now.
He has it in a good position.
He does?
Yeah, it's in.
He moved it again? Wait.
Yeah, moved it.
Where is it?
It's in like center. It's center of the map right now.
Okay.
There it is. So Chanimal with great positioning. Warlock like Chanimal, I don't expect him to be messing up. Demonic Circle gets dropped once again, just always positioning in a way where it's as far away as possible from Method Orange. So if they do grip him in, he can portal away to safety. And I wasn't expecting this from the Super Frogs. I feel like this is a really good answer to the strategy Method Orange is implementing. I don't know if they can pull off that same all-in, especially with Cubsy being able to drink. I think he will be able to keep Chanimal alive.
And he will be able to escape Tiger Eye Brew, which doesn't last forever. This one talent change might be enough for Super Frogs to just close the entire series out. Method Orange are going to have to figure out how best to combat that later into dampening. Maybe it means that Chanimal isn't the target and Wealthy Man should be the target, but even that is going to be a risky exchange for Method Orange overall, but they're still reluctant to engage the Super Frogs just yet. Both teams holding on to basically every cooldown, not wanting to give themselves any disadvantage before dampening. Frozen Orb gets dropped by Wealthy Man. Cubsy jumps in, lands a stun, securing some burst here for the team potentially. Method Orange try to grip Wealthy Man in. He blinks to safety. I like the positioning with Chanimal on the left or the right. It's kind of hard with the camera rotating around on the left and Wealthy Man on the right. Chanimal's running the Succubus pet as well. We typically see a Fell Hunter, but running the Succubus to get an extra knockback and get a Seduce for extra crowd control. Chanimal's is really mixing up his build on Warlock here. Surprisingly, I like it. I think this curveball is exactly what they needed to try and catch Method Orange off guard.
Yeah, and I think catching a team off guard in a tournament like this is really important. If you're going to bring out a strategy, it would be on match point in such an important series, especially against a team like Method Orange. Method Orange have to try to find victory. I mean, Sid, what do you think they're going to do? Wealthy Man is just going to be a really durable target, especially with Chanimal backing him up. He's going to have 2 ice blocks. You're going to have to see big offensive pushes by Method Orange if they want to actually secure a kill in this matchup. But we saw what happened on the Grand Arena. If they don't pick their moment perfectly, they will be ripped apart eventually by the Blizzards of Wealthy Man and the Frozen Orbs and inevitably lose. So
thing is, when they get Death Gripped in, Chanimal can use the Succubus to knock back all 3 melee. They get snared by a Frozen Orb and a Blizzard in midfield, and then Chanimal just demonic circles to safety. Wealthy Man can blink to safety if he's the one gripped in. If Cubsy gets gripped in, I'm pretty sure Method Orange dies before Cubsy dies. Maybe that's their only option, though. It's just a race to kill Cubsy faster than they die, leaving Chanimal and Wealthy Man open. Everything else, I don't think it's going to work anymore for Method Orange.
Yeah, what I want to see is when Cubsy's pushing in and landing these rake stuns, what I want to see later on is either Trill or Sea-Doo getting a paralysis and they just all in Cubsy. Really push him over the edge with Touch of Death, triple Maledict, eating up basically any healing Cubsy has available. And I think that could be a potential win condition for Method Orange, especially if Super Frogs and Cubsy's going to play so aggressive in the matchup.
Let's see how it plays out. Dampening now at 12%. The magic number in this matchup between Death Knights is around 30 to 40%, so it would be my expectation. Let's see if Chanimal's adaptation and talent can overcome what was a disadvantage matchup. I really like Chanimal's awareness. Even though this is a fatiguing series on his part, he's constantly repositioning that demonic circle so that he will be able to escape to safety, really keeping an eye on that so he doesn't overextend it. Cubsy constantly looking for drinks to make sure that he's maxed out his mana pool for the inevitable late game that this match will provide. Cubsy now in stealth looking to set up the team. Cubsy jumps in right when Chanimal gets gripped, denies some extra burst. Chanimal then can use the demonic gateway to safety. Surprised to see him use the Seduce on Mez. I was either expecting Seduce to crowd control Sea-Doo or Seduce to interrupt Fists of Fury. I don't see any benefit of using the Seduce on the Death Knight.
Yeah, I'm not really going to be able to get too much value, especially with Wealthy Man just throwing out Blizzards and constant damage. The Seduce will eventually break to that damage. Chanimal resummoning his Succubus here in midfield, positioning very far away. And I really don't know what Method Orange is going to do. They have the capability of doing a big all-in push. At this point, I really feel like it should be on Cubsy. I mean, yeah, I feel like Cubsy could be the best target for sure, especially if he's moving in, trying to get the rake stuns. That's when you can punish him. Chanimal, they could also make all-in attempts onto him, but Method Orange is going to have to get a little bit more confident actually pushing off behind the pillar. When they just grip him in, allow him to portal away, they're not going to be getting anything done.
Counterspell on Sea-Doo, dampening now at 21%. Mez will become vulnerable. If Wealthy Man can get some good pressure, Cubsy re-stealths to get stuns with that Feral Affinity. Also important to note with the Feral Affinity, if you use Rake from stealth, it actually increases the damage of that Rake by 100%. So if Cubsy can get that on 3 members of the team, that will provide split pressure, adding to the damage overall on his entire roster. Mana's completely even. It's still too difficult to call who really has the edge. Chanimal has brought in multiple curveballs to potentially just close this series out. They have the lead 2-1. Method Orange desperately want to get a top finish in this tournament so that they can overthrow the boys in seeding and try and pass them so that they can dodge Wildcard Gaming and that they can dodge Method Black from the European region in the first round at the spring finals. So there is still a lot on the line for Method Orange, not to mention just the consequences of the entire year. If you can perform at the top level in a majority of the cups and earn the largest portion of points, then you just qualify directly to directly to the World Finals just on points. You don't even have to win one of the lands. So very important for Method Orange to have some consistency here and go all of the way. Super Frogs just appears to be their final boss that they can't beat.
Yep, and for Method Orange, although they're gripping in Chanimal, they're really not committing anything. You're going to tell when they want to get aggressive. When Trill uses his Storm, Earth, and Fire, he's going to split up into 2 different images, or 3 different images, and that's when you can tell that's when they want to really get out significant damage. They haven't done that yet, I believe, so far in this matchup, but here it is. Aggressive push onto Chanimal. Storm, Earth, and Fire gets popped. Cubsy trying to avoid the paralysis, but Trill inevitably lands it. Chanimal ports away to safety. Are Mez and Trill going to chase him down? Succubus now is secured. Seduce onto Sea-Doo. Mez really vulnerable. Good crowd control here from Chanimal. Baiting Trill and Mez in the open. Getting crowd control on Sea-Doo. And with no trinket, Sea-Doo's going to be very scared. He can't get out of Polymorph. He can't get out of Seduce. What is he going to do?
Ultimate blinks in, gets a triple frozen orb. Sea-Doo can use Way of the Crane to heal the team back to full. Ultimate then uses the Demonic Gateway to get to safety. Super Frogs are focused much more on mobility and escape mechanics in this specific matchup. A lot less about aggression, and we really haven't seen this particular strategy play out. This is the first time, and perhaps it is exactly what they need to overthrow the Windwalker Death Knight Mistweaver. They've got pressure still on 3 members. The real question is, like, how long do you wait as Sea-Doo? Do you just sit, like, what percent of dampening are you going to wait? We're now at the magic number, that 40% mark, where you would normally see the Destruction Warlock overwhelmed. Are they going to start going for Way of the Cranes yet? Infernals have landed. This is a scary moment for Method Orange. They're on match point.
Yeah, what are they going to do? Super Frog looking to close out this series. Infernals, once again, they deflect Mez, Trill, and Sea-Doo, forcing them to run and hide behind the pillar. Cubsy moves in, gets a stun. Chanimal gets asphyxiated and death gripped. Now he should be able to portal away to safety. Pressure now onto Sea-Doo. All 3 members of Method Orange rotting down. And Chanimal, he's been able to hold on to so many of his defense's cooldowns. We've known Chanimal as one of the best warlocks in the game to actually kite and escape these melee cleaves. With this demonic circle, he's been doing well so far. But now Method Orange finally finding a moment in the game to potentially take Chanimal down. Polymorph secured on Sea-Doo. Mez and Trill vulnerable, but Trill has a lot of defensive cooldowns at his disposal. Mez trying to heal himself up, but at 42% dampening, I don't know how much longer Mez can hold on.
Perfect crowd control chain. Mez exchanges basically every defensive cooldown that he's got. Super Frogs still hold on to the unending resolve. They have the lead, they have the opportunity, and they have the surprise effect here to just close this series out 3-1. Sea-Doo in dire straits, multiple interrupts available here. Now counterspell coming up in 8. I want to see a Succubus play here. They Succubus Trill on his burst. They polymorph Sea-Doo. Good cross. Mez on the run. He's in trouble. Cubsy's hunting him down. It's 3-on-1 and he's going to fall. Super Frogs blow it out 3-1 with a surprise strategy.
And I think they've all settled. We are set up now for our championship Sunday. And we are going to see those top teams compete. We got the top 3 from each region. The move versus the boys going to be the first matchup in North America. Whoever loses